This time of year, we start to see interaction on the text line and in our streaming chat as well. There's more people, man, are back in their normal routine. It's fall, essentially. We're just,
we get to see more of you. You put on your KU gear since Carrington claimed he essentially called you a fake KU fan, is my opinion. Like, not a real fan.
I didn't wear
because
that.
A real fan would be in Columbia, is I think what he was saying.
We'll get back into C-Dot's lies again. He continued the same lie yesterday. But I don't want to start with that because I still think he's licking his wounds from the Kiss Cam video that was made public.
Tough.
I'll just point out, nothing we said on this show was a lie, right? We told you what happened with the Kiss Cam. We told you we would have video. What happened? Video came out, did it not? We didn't make any of that up. That was all true. So we'll get into that a little bit. No, I'm not wearing the KU hoodie today because of Carrington. Honestly, you know what the truth is? Tomorrow, I know it's Red Friday. Your favorite thing, Cody. Your favorite thing is tomorrow. It's Red Friday. So I'm
shouldn't that be several days before the game?
No, not when it falls on a game day. We've gone over this. But no, tomorrow I figure I'll be wearing red. So today was a, KU day, and on Saturday will be a KU day as well.
Based on most Chiefs fans' understanding of it, just every Friday is Red Friday, whether they have a game or don't have a game. If I just accept that on its premise, it's okay. But then I get bullied into like wearing stuff on a Tuesday.
Well, if they play on a Thursday, it's Red Wednesday.
See, I don't subscribe to that. I'll give you every Friday.
Last year, you remember that? Last couple of years, they played on Thursday. It was Red Wednesday.
But why wouldn't it be Red? Why? So why isn't it Red Thursday? That doesn't make it.
Because it's game day. It's both.
But that doesn't make any sense.
So there should
be Red Thursday.
It's too
you
strict
said
for
there's
you.
Red Wednesday
the day before the game.
Thursday. And then, so today should be Red Thursday.
But
we should be. Yes, that's the same argument.
Not if game day falls on the Red Friday.
Okay. So
why is it so complicated?
Because you're making it complicated.
No, Red Friday.
You're saying if it's a Friday, it stays Red Friday. It doesn't move to the day before. If the game's on a Thursday, Red Wednesday is now. That's insane.
Because you're not going to have a Red Friday the day after a game.
But what's the difference?
You're not gonna, tomorrow. If the
but this is the day before the game.
Right.
Why wouldn't this one count if the Wednesday before a Thursday game counts?
No, because the game is falling on Red Friday, Cody. I don't know why the game is on a Red Friday.
I think you're making it more complicated than I am.
Not at all.
Okay. Well, either way, the Chiefs play a game tomorrow. So
let's get into it. They do.
Let's talk about a more frustrating thing at the moment. Yesterday's Royals game was a kick in the nuts. I don't think there's any other way to put it. You knew that the Mariners were down 8-0 at the time of the game, and they got whipped. You knew the Rangers had already lost 2-0. You had a 2-0 lead, and all you had to do was, I don't care, scrape one through. And I got it. You had a 2-0 lead with one hit and an error that gave you the runs. You didn't look good on offense, but it looked like you had a chance to be 1.5 games back of a playoff spot, tied with the Rangers again for that playoff spot instead of a game back, which you are now, and you blew it. And the frustrating part of yesterday was not, and I know that there's going to be plenty, and that's fine if that's where your anger is, over Q and the bullpen decisions and getting Burgert out in the mid-80s and the pitch count. The truth is, I just think the bullpen is overworked. I think because the starting pitchers haven't been going as deep, they are more likely to fail based on the fact that they have been overworked. And my bigger issue last night was you needed your superstar to just be an average baseball player or a superstar, and he was the opposite of that. Bobby made errors. Bobby didn't come through with a runner on second and nobody out. He didn't have the timely hit. He had the mistakes. And Bobby Wood Jr., two things can be simultaneously true. He can both be a top 5 player in baseball this year, which he has been, and not have been good enough for the Royals this season in some big games. And that's what I think happened last night. My frustration's more there. The bullpen stuff's annoying, too. I'm just mad that they had every opportunity, and every game feels like it's just slipping away.
Yeah, yesterday was one of the worst losses they could possibly have, given the circumstances that you laid out with what had happened elsewhere in the wild card picture, and now it's not just the Mariners, it's not just the Rangers, but suddenly the Rays are tied with you. Suddenly the Guardians are only a half game back of you. So the actual standings and the results there, everything's gotten way more complicated again. Everybody's back in the wild card picture, and you're in danger of literally, after a loss tonight, Cody, they could be behind the Mariners, they could be behind the Rays, they could be behind the Guardians and Texas. They could have 4 teams in front of them just like that with 23 games to go, and so that's what's frustrating. And then, let's just call it like it is. Bobby Wood Jr., incredible superstar. I still think he's actually had a heck of a season. It's just his standard is very high, and I'm sure he would be the first one to tell you. Last night was a bad baseball game by Bobby Wood Jr. He was one of the reasons they lost that baseball game. That's not something we say very often, but that was the reality of last night. We don't have to act like he's suddenly just not a clutch baseball player. That to me is ridiculous. That's not fair. But last night was something you can't usually get from a player of his caliber in essentially a playoff game.
Yeah,
these are essentially playoff games.
That was a must-win game almost.
And I'm sure he was probably pretty hard on himself about it as well. I mean, that was not a good day at the office, to say the least, for Bobby Wood Jr. As far as the pitching element of the game, I thought Burgert was great. And then, yet again, we go back to the same convo we've had 100 times this year, which is, why did they pull him early or not? They're playing the matchup and all that. They did let him go, into the sixth inning, and get to a third time through the lineup. He gives up one walk, and then he gets pulled immediately in that spot. So there's a lot of second guessing again. I honestly do think last night, if you're pinpointing one thing, Bobby Wood Jr.'s performance last night was kind of devastating to your chances to win. And that's just the reality. Now, I won't be shocked if tonight he's the reason why they win either.
Yeah,
that's
he's one of the best
is.
players in the sport, and for a good reason. But that's also why the standard set on him is fair, because he said it. It's not fair for any other player on the planet. It's the Mahomes standard. I understand that it is an unrealistic expectation to say, no, you can't ever be bad. You can't have games like that. You can't let one slip through. But it's not just that it's that they had, it was such a huge swing in the standings. And look, I'm not going to tell you they have no chance to make the playoffs because they lost the game last night, because when we were having those conversations in June, those were premature. The Royals weren't out of the mix in June. I know we thought, or it looked like they weren't going to be in it, but it looked like they were done in June, mid-June, and they weren't. Those conversations, like I said, were a little early on this end. They are obviously still only 2.5 games back, with now 23 games to go. But if I said 23 games to go, 1.5 games back, the mood in the city is so dramatically different versus what I see from the text line now and what I think is going to end up happening here, which is, he just lost back-to-back to the Angels? It's red every day now. I'm done. Red Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I'm out. Football's back, and and baseball's out the window if you're not going to win the one last night. And I don't want it to turn to that, because the Royals are still playing meaningful baseball on September 4th. But yeah, look, did it frustrate me that Schreiber couldn't get an out? Sure. But I saw people criticizing like, well, I missed last year's Urseg. I'm like, what do you mean? He got the out. Bobby Wood Jr. blew it. What did Urseg do wrong? Give up hits after he got out number 3?
No, all I'll say about him, unrelated to last night. In general, the last month, he has not been the normal dominant Lucas Urseg. That is true, but that's not unique to last night. That's, whether it's just,
Last night he's getting ready to face 4 hitters and get 3 outs, and then Bobby made an error.
Right. At some point, we can be critical of decisions and pitching staff and all that, but last night there were multiple players that did not execute, and in particular, Bobby Wood Jr. did not execute. Look, Vinny for a while was carrying this offense. He's in a slump all of a sudden. All of a sudden, he's won for his last 30, one for his last 31. I mean, so why is the offense starting over the last? What is it? They've now lost during this homestand 1-4, and they have 10 runs in 5 games. Well, that's what happens when a guy that was helping carry your offense is now in the middle of a 1 for 30. Who else going to step up? Who's it going to be? Who's that guy going to be?
Last night, Kaggs finally got back in the action. He made a start.
He did.
Walked, struck out, and then tattooed a ball directly to the right fielder, something we saw, I feel like, a lot.
Yes.
In the first 40 games he played, in which if batting average balls in play on average, balls hit over 8 miles an hour.
Yeah, my only frustration, what I didn't get last night goes back to our conversation yesterday with, Carter Jensen and how much is he going to play? And we were saying, hey, he's not going to play as much as you think.
No, pinch hit.
Last night, we obviously know they like Luke Maley. He's a vet. Yeah. I understand. But
they like the leadership stuff.
But it's just like, so can Carter Jensen not, they don't trust his defense? Can he not, at this point in time in his career, be that? Bat-wise, who would you rather have in the lineup, though, in a game like that? And so, then Nick Lofton gets the pinch hit late. People were upset about that. But also, that's where I don't blame Q. That's on the player. Nick Lofton watched 2 fastballs go down the middle of the plate.
Yeah, he did.
So as much, the result wasn't what we wanted. It doesn't, the decision to pinch hit Nick Lofton is not what I'm upset about. That's where you put it on the player and you say, you watch 2 strikes down the middle, dude.
But at the same time, that is one where Q, because Nick Lofton, we've spent a lot of time, and the Royals have spent a lot of time being like, hey, we don't want to play Kaggs every day. Young player, still figuring it out. He's only hitting 150. Nick Lofton is hitting below 200. He's played 60 games this year at the major league level, and he has no pop. So, what are we getting into at this point? at least it's the same thing. It's like, give me the chance to have the ball go over the wall right now, because they feel like they're heading back towards the like ultimate team offensive slump. And if we're heading back to that, well, then at least, give yourself the Adele chance. It's not like,
well, they better snap out of
Angels,
it, because 10 runs in 5 games is not going to get it done. That's why you're 1-4 during the stretch.
God, and it's like, I think that's what makes me so angry is like, if you were just 3-2 during that stretch, Gold, right now you're a half game back of a playoff spot and 2.5 clear the next team. And you're like, you could have taken advantage. Now, look, thankfully, and I think Vern pointed this out, this goes back to the 7th wildcard thing. 7th wildcard thing, you might not be excited by it, but the Mariners let you stay in it. And everyone and the Rangers have let you stay in it.
Everybody's in it now.
Losing.
I mean, honestly,
everyone's in it. Razorback in it.
If the Angels win today, they're in the Mariners. The Angels would be like 5 back all of a sudden with 22 to go. I mean, everybody is in it. It is a blown opportunity, but the talk about the standings, I guess, doesn't matter if we think the offense isn't going to snap out of it quickly. I mean, if this is how the offense is going to play the next week, then the standings won't matter. They will not be winning baseball games if they continue with what the offense has looked like the last 5 games.
They just had such an opportunity. They have to look to themselves and just say, you know what? We've blown it, but they helped us out, and they blew it too. So let's take advantage of that tonight. Let's get back in it. But then now Lugo's got back tightness. Now Noah Cameron's got to start tonight. So now we're going to miss at least one start from Lugo. He missed starts earlier. Reagan still hasn't come back. They lost Bubic for the season. They've had to overcome everything on the pitching. And so that's where it comes back around to Bobby. Look, for the next 23 games, if this team's going to make the playoffs, Bobby Wood Jr. has to be a superstar. He has to play like the best player in the sport. That's what has to happen for the next 23 games. Let's set the pitching and the bullpen and the decisions late and all this stuff to the side.
It's all about the offense.
Yeah. The pitching did their job this year to get you to the playoffs. They kept you in the fight. Now for the next 23 games, Bobby Wood Jr. can never have a night like he had last night, and Bobby has to be a star the rest of the way. Vinny's got to snap out of his slump. Bobby's got to be a star.
And Salvi has to come up with the clutch hit. I mean, they pretty simple, right? Their 3 best players on offense have to play like it in the final 23 games. And then even then, they need somebody out of that group. I don't know if it's Carter Jensen, if it's Cags, if it's Yaz. Out of that group, somebody else also has to step up during this final 23 games as well. It doesn't have to be all 9, but it's got to be like 4 or 5 of these guys in order for them to have a real chance to do it. I'm not going to sit here and say they're cooked because, they are only 2.5 back or whatever it is now.
I said that in June, and that was wrong, so I'm not going to overreact and say that they just have no chance. I'm still not predicting it.
But if the offense has 5 more games like this in a row, they will be cooked. Because at that point, I don't care what happens with the Mariners. You're not worried about them and just them anymore. You would then need the Rangers to cool off. You would also need the Rays to cool off, and the Guardians. I guess they play each other, so one of them is bound to maybe not
or at
jump
least
you. But
tread water just as long as you win, which you have to do anyway. Let's shift to football for just a minute. We'll get to the Chiefs in just a little bit. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Andy Reid all spoke to the media. We'll bring you some of that during the Chiefs Red Half Hour. So we'll bring you some of that here in just a little bit. Reminder, our Sports Talk on the Fan is presented by Paramount Plus. Stream your local NFL game all season long, kicking off with this juicy Week 1 matchup between Detroit and Green Bay. Starting at just $30 for your first year. That's like $250 a month. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today.
Juicy
matchup.
There we go.
Not just, it is a good matchup.
It's juicy.
I am interested. There's no doubt about it.
Same.
But before we get to the Chiefs specific, which we will hear in just a moment, because I did see that Isaiah Pacheco said he's on a revenge tour. And I like hearing that. I like revenge tours. Those are interesting to me. We got to do what we got to do. It is the NFL. It starts tonight. We have to make our predictions for the playoffs. Let's just start with our NFC and AFC teams in the playoffs.
Okay.
Later in the show, we can give our official Final Four and Super Bowl winner and all the stuff we do with it. Let's start on the NFC side.
Okay.
Gold. How about the NFC? What do you got for me?
All right, so we'll go 1 through 7 seeds here. We already did divisional winners, so nobody can change their picks here. It has to match up with our divisional picks. So the 1 through 4 should be known already. Number 1 seed, I'm going to go with the Eagles. They will be the 1 seed in the NFC. Packers, my 2 seed. Bucks, division winners, 3 seed. And my surprise out of the NFC West, Seahawks, the NFC West champs, so they will be the 4 seed.
Okay.
They'll finish with like 10 wins, 4 seed, host a playoff game.
They'll have less wins than the 5 seed, probably.
Yep, because my 5 seed is the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
6 seed, the Commanders. 7 seed, Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears.
You're a Big Johnson guy. The Bears, huh? Oops. Look, on the NFC side, let me go through
that'll
those.
be a drop.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's go through at least the NFC side for me. I told you that I think there's one team who's getting slept on because of this stuff, and I'm going to take a chance that it's not the Eagles. Plus, who wants to have the same things anyway? The number 1 seed for me is the Lions. We can argue back and forth on this in a minute. I got the Eagles as the 2.
Okay.
The Bucks is the 3 seed. And then the Arizona Cardinals, as you remember, I chose as my NFC West winner as the number 4 seed. My 3 wild card teams will be the Packers, the Commanders, and the Rams. You know what? Stafford's going to start game 1. McVay's one of the better coaches in the league.
So you think
I'll say they find a way to sneak into that 7 spot.
So you think your favorite quarterback in the NFL, at some point, Jimmy Garoppolo is going to win a big game or 2 for them this year?
Well, I don't think that Stafford's going to play all of them. But to get it, you know how
Jimmy
easy
G.
it is? Do you know how easy it is
Jimmy G.
to get to the playoffs? They put 7 teams in this thing. Be 9-8 and you're a playoff team.
You say,
The
you know
Rams
how,
get to 9-8.
easy it is? Talk to Drew. It's not easy.
That'll come up in our coaches ranking later and why, Zach Taylor's so low on my list.
All right, Drew. What do you got? NFC.
The Eagles are going to be the 1 seed. Packers the 2. Buccaneers will be the 3. The Rams, as I had them winning the NFC West, will be the 4. The Detroit Lions will be the 5. Commanders the 6. And Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers will be the 7 seed in the playoffs.
All right, so we got a lot of similar teams. You got the Rams still? Because I remember
The Rams are winning the division, yes.
Everyone's down on the Lions with me, huh? I got them as the number 1
I have
seed.
them as a 5 seed. I'm just
Lions
high
as
on
a
the
5.
Packers. I told you yesterday the 4 teams I
That
think can
division's
win
gonna
the
be tight.
Super Bowl, and I had the Packers as one of the 4, so I got to have them there.
I absolutely think Micah Parsons is a important player in the NFL. I'm trying not to overreact in the sense that a week ago I would have not had the Packers winning the division, and I don't want one player to change my opinion of it yet. I would have had him close, in fairness, and you might have had the Packers winning the division before Micah.
Yeah.
And if you did, then it's easy
He's
to just be like, well, they're
different.
still going to win.
He's
it.
different. You're right about one trade happens, don't overreact. But they didn't trade for like a number 2 wide receiver. They traded for a top 5 player in the game.
I know.
And Micah Parsons, even if he's got some back issue or something going on. All right, so that's the NFC. Let's flip over to the AFC. I'll let you start this time.
All right, so I got the not the Chiefs as the number 1 seed. Bad news, the Bills' schedule's a joke. And, although I will say, the Chiefs getting the Bills with a healthy Rashee Rice, that game could be a difference maker. I got the Bills as the number 1 seed, Chiefs as the 2, Ravens as the 3, Texans as the number 4 seed, winning the South. And then my 3 wild card teams are the New England Patriots, who I'm buying into a little bit, the Denver Broncos, and the Tennessee Titans. That's my surprising one. That's like your one with the Carolina Panthers. Cam Ward is the least talked about number 1 overall pick of all time.
He is.
They do have some talent on that roster. Plus, I just
Tennessee.
think they're. You want
I
to talk
like
about
Cam Ward.
want to talk about a soft schedule. Tennessee's is. Look at the division they play. It's a joke on its own.
Hang on a second. So does this
Tennessee.
mean that Brian Callahan is not in your bottom 10 as coaches then? If
No, he's still in the bottom 10.
winning the division,
He hasn't earned a right to get out of the bottom 10.
But you think he's good
They're
enough
gonna
to
win
get
the
a rookie
division.
quarterback to?
to win a division?
Well, I mean, he'll move up the rankings
No, he
next
doesn't
year.
have. He doesn't have him to win the division.
No,
he
I
has
just have him as the number
He
7
has him as the
seed.
last wild card team.
Okay.
right.
Here's just a taste of their schedule, so it makes some sense. They have the Colts and Houston multiple times, Arizona and Vegas. They have the Patriots, which is like a team that I've got in the playoffs at least. Seattle, the Jags, Cleveland. It's a pretty easy schedule.
All right.
Saints.
All right, for me on the AFC side, I also have the Bills as the 1 seed. This is the year they get the 1 seed. If they don't, then things went really, really wrong for them. Their schedule sets up very nicely for them. Bills 1 seed, Chiefs the 2 seed, Ravens out of the North the 3 seed. I don't know, surprise. It's a wide open AFC South, in my opinion. The Jags win the South, so they're my 4 seed division winner. They're going to host the Denver Broncos, who are the 5 seed wild card weekend.
Okay.
The Texans are my 6 seed, so 2 teams do come out of the South. And then the Pittsburgh Steelers, 7 seed out of the AFC North.
Steelers. You can't let Tomlin off.
No,
He'll
he's
find
gonna
a way
get
to
there.
get Aaron Rodgers to the playoffs.
Aaron Rodgers is going into New York this Sunday and playing his best game in 2 years. He's going to throw for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns and blow out the Jets.
We know that Drew doesn't have Cincinnati winning the division because he gave us, we did the AFC North preview yesterday. Do you have them in the playoffs, I hope? Because you did bet a Hooters uniform on it.
Oh, of course. Who would I be to not have them in?
Okay.
All
The
right,
Bills
let's
are
hear
going
it.
to be the 1 seed. The 2 seed will be the Kansas City Chiefs. The Baltimore Ravens, the 3. Houston
We're all the
Texans.
same there.
Houston Texans are going to win the division. Still, I believe in them enough. They're the 4. Bengals, the 5. Denver Broncos at 6. And then the Jacksonville Jaguars at number 7.
Of all the picks we've made, the Jags feels even riskier than my Titans pick somehow. I don't know. I'm so off the Jags. Maybe Liam
That's
Cohen's
because
really good,
you're
though.
off Trevor Lawrence.
Maybe Liam Cohen. You know what it is? Maybe Liam Cohen's really good.
I like Liam Cohen.
I'm a believer in Liam Cohen, and I do think
Travis Hunter?
Ryan Thomas.
Can we? I was just going to say, can we agree that if this year doesn't happen for Trevor Lawrence, it ain't ever going to happen?
Agreed. Yes.
Brian Thomas,
Yeah.
Travis
I think this is it. I
Hunter,
think this is
good
it.
running game, better offensive line. Like, if it doesn't happen this year for Trevor
Agree.
Lawrence, it's not happening. We don't have to do this conversation.
I would
ever
agree with
again.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I would
cool.
agree with that. But yeah, I think that division is not that great. I don't think the Jags have to win 11 or 12 games to win the division. That's why I picked them. I think they could win the division with 10 wins. If they split with the Texans and take care of business against what I think is a Titans team that's going to struggle all year, on top of a Colts team that's going to have Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson the entire year, the Colts might just be one of the most boring teams in football. I just kind of Like, go through that.
I refuse
Just
to
go
pick them
through
in the
that
playoffs
roster.
because I don't want to watch any Colts football.
None of us have the Colts getting in there. Someone says sleeping on Miami. Their schedule's a joke. Thought about Miami as the 7th seed. I really did. I just can't get there. I think what's going to happen, Miami's going to get off to a good start like they always do. It's hot. September, October, they're good. It gets cold in November, December, and they fall apart. And then they'll trade Tyreek Hill.
So they'll be 6-2, and then they'll still miss the playoffs. Is what you're,
Something like that.
5-3.
I'm just hoping Tua can go a full 17-game season
that would be
again.
nice,
like
right?
that,
For
that
his
would
own
be great.
sake, too.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
He's just as good as Trevor Lawrence when healthy. We give Trevor Lawrence on the pub. Tua technically puts up better numbers when he's on the field.
I think Tua might be better in his career. He's probably better.
yes.
Oh, so far, yeah, absolutely. Tua's problem is that he keeps diving head first, even though he has concussion issues.
That is
Those are
a
our player
look
predictions.
at
Oh,
the
boy.
playoff picture. We'll keep an eye on those as the season goes on. And yes, we do have an outstanding bet with Drew. If the Bengals make the playoffs, then Cody and I have to wear the actual Hooters outfit during the show. My goodness. And obviously, if Cincy does not make the playoffs, Drew's wearing it the full show.
I still think that you guys both should wear it a full show separately. But
No, our odds are worse. The Bengals they're minus money to make the playoffs. We're taking a plus money bet.
how minus are they?
Like 150 or
140,
something
like that.
Not crazy. I'm just saying they're.
I mean, if you want to buy us another Hooters outfit,
and the other
Drew,
part
then-
of the downside for us is like one of us has to. You're
How do
forgetting
you
the
guys
fact that
both
one
in-
person is going to have to wear that
After.
the other person wore it that day.
Oh, I would.
So it's-
whoever's going first is in the better position.
we're gonna have to. We're gonna have
flip
to.
for it.
You guys
Flip
don't have to
for it.
flip a coin, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we'll have to worry about that though. So we're good. I think you'll be having to take care of that.
I love how much you guys don't like them. I love it.
No, yeah, it's no secret. I can't stand Cincinnati.
I love
Yeah.
it. I love it.
I don't know why anybody in Kansas City shouldn't hate Cincinnati.
Nobody talks more trash.
Their
than-
mayor says
Them
things
and the
about
Eagles you
Kansas.
should hate
Their
the most,
mayor
though,
said things about Kansas City.
Is he still the mayor?
I think he is actually.
Again, for the text line, I'm not from
Jamar
Cincinnati.
Chase playing dumb like he doesn't know who the quarterback that's maybe going to finish as the greatest of all time, if not second best of all time is. That kind of stuff.
Wouldn't
You got
say his
what's his
name,
name
yeah.
with the Burrowhead. So there's plenty of reasons to hate Cincinnati.
A reminder to the text line that when you told me to go back to where I was raised in, I'm not from Cincinnati.
Well, that's the whole thing. That's the whole other thing with the fandom thing.
You
That
guys
got to
relax with this.
Yeah, you should be a diehard Colts fan.
It is surprising you're not a Colts fan. When you were growing up, Peyton Manning was the quarterback. What an easy time to be a Colts fan.
Yeah, and now look at him.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's not like Cincinnati's accomplished a ton, like in their entire franchise. They've made it
The Bengals,
to a few Super Bowls.
to the 913, the Bengals have backed it up more than the Bills and the Ravens have.
I disagree. We're not getting back into that argument. Let's talk to Danan Hughes.
Up next, Danan Hughes going to join us
Danan can
from
save us.
Brazil. We'll get boots on the ground, find out what's going on in Brazil. What does he need to see from this offense tomorrow night? That's next.
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? It's Creed Humphrey. You're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays 10 to 2 on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Hey, it's Gold, and I'm letting you know that FanDuel is coming to Missouri. That's right. FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, is coming to Missouri. We've been talking about this for a very, very long time. Those of you on the Missouri side finally going to get to experience this. The wait will soon be over. On December 1st, you'll finally be able to bet on all those favorite teams of yours and all your favorite sports. With FanDuel, there's tons of ways for you to get in on the action. You can bet on everything from the money line to over-unders to which team will win it all. You can also build those parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines. Whatever your style, FanDuel has you covered. Plus, with live betting, you can even pick which player will score the next touchdown and the one after that. Mark your calendars. FanDuel is coming to Missouri on December 1st. See for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel, play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook is an official partner of 96.5 The Fan. Must be 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure what the best option is? Selling a home, especially when dealing with foreclosure, divorce, job relocation, or an inherited property, can feel overwhelming. That's why I don't just make offers. I help homeowners understand all their options so they can make the right choice with no pressure and no obligation. I'm Rex, a local homebuyer and resident right here in Kansas City. Whether you're looking for a fast cash sale or just want to explore your choices, I'll walk you through the pros and cons of selling to me or listing with an agent. If selling directly is your best move, I'll offer you a fair cash price and a closing timeline that fits your needs in as little as 7 days or on your schedule. No repairs, no commissions, no hidden fees. Just a transparent, hassle-free process so you know exactly what to expect. Let's talk. Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com for a free, no-pressure consultation. Rex Buys KC, helping homeowners make informed decisions with confidence.
Fuel your game day with Raising Cane's. The Jayhawks and their fans are some of the most dedicated in football. It's a quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's. One Love, preferred chicken finger of Kansas Athletics.
Hey, football fans, tune in this week to kick off with Boomer and Valenti, where the guys break down the biggest headlines and stories from across the NFL. Kickoff with Boomer and Valenti is brought to you by Nationwide. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Get your home ready for the change in seasons with a $69 HVAC tune-up from Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. Our pros can help you lower energy costs, prevent costly breakdowns, and make sure your system is running at peak efficiency right when you need it most. And it's all backed by our exceptional service guarantee. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
I'm Mitch Holtis, voice of the Chiefs. Everyone develops cataracts naturally as they get older. When your vision is affected by cataracts, you should see my doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein at Silverstein Eye Centers. Dr. Silverstein is a world-renowned cataract surgeon who performs life-changing laser-assisted cataract surgery with premium lens implants to correct your vision up close and far away. Trust my eye doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein, Silverstein Eye Centers, 816-358-3600 to schedule an appointment.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
From pads and rotors to shocks and struts, coming to a full stop should never mean your business does too. At Napa, we are the pros that know brakes and suspension better than anyone. So when others are grinding their gears, our premium parts and exceptional service deliver results. Whether you're operating a local shop or managing a national fleet, Napa has exactly what you need, when and where you need it. Get the brake and suspension parts you're looking for right now at Napa.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
It's time. Time for the pro to get everything for the job delivered. Large orders of lumber, doors, windows, paint, plumbing, anything the job needs, all from one partner. Get it today with same-day delivery. Get it tomorrow with next day delivery on 50,000 plus products. Or get it on your timeline with scheduled delivery on everything from framing to flooring. It's time to get your whole job, all your jobs delivered. Ask about all our new delivery options at the Pro Desk. The Home Depot Pro, it's about time.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
All right, we're back here on Cody and Gold, and it is time to head out to Sao Paulo, Brazil, and talk to our good friend Danan Hughes of the Chiefs Radio Network, of course, former Chiefs wide receiver, and you guys will hear him on the call Friday night in Brazil. And our conversations with Danan Hughes are brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue, and by Flight, by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. Danan, safe travels, it sounds like, obviously, which was great, to Brazil. What was the last, 12 to 16 or so hours like?
Well, you guys know me. I was asleep for most of it, so it was par for the course for me. Traveled to Germany a couple of years ago, the same as travel here to Sao Paulo. So I think I got in about 10 hours. I did not even realize that we were delayed leaving for about 2 hours because I fell asleep as soon as we got on the plane. So that's a surprise, that I was not even awake for the delay, which I wish I would have, because then I would have been able to sleep the entire flight as opposed to staying awake for the last couple of hours. So otherwise it was cool. We're here. The weather is beautiful. And we just got to get ready for these Chargers.
What are your concerns over the field, Dane? And I know that always seems to be a talking point anytime we get these international games. And if they're going to continue them, I actually feel like it's one of those things they want to take care of so that it's not a conversation anymore.
Yeah, I think so. We actually had a conversation about it because we kind of compared it to the Arizona Cardinals and how much of a debacle that was and how it continues to be. And you would think that, especially with the NFL, the juggernaut that it is, that you would think that they would make sure that that was not an issue, that was not a talking point. But I guess there's only but so much that they can control. You just hope for the best. And what I used to be taught as a player was the other team's got to play in it too, no matter rain, sleet, snow, or soggy fields. So you just hope that it equals out, and you just ultimately hope that no one gets hurt. That's the thing. Guys are going to slip around. You're going to have to pay attention to the cleats that you have on. I remember Al Saunders, my coach, used to say, never take your putter to the driving range. And I wasn't a golfer back then, so I didn't know what that meant. But he ultimately was like, make sure you got the right equipment wherever you go. Make sure you got the right equipment. So Alan Wright and Chris Shropshire, those guys are the ultimate professionals. To me, the equipment staff, the best in the league. So I'm sure they'll have these guys ready. Actually, our guys are heading out there early this morning, have headed out there early this morning to get everything set up, the locker rooms, et cetera. So I'm sure they'll be testing the field, and hopefully that just doesn't become a factor.
We're talking to Danan Hughes here on 96.5 The Fan. What do you need to see, Danan, in this game to believe maybe the offense is back or headed in the right direction to being one of those top 5 top offenses in the league?
Chunk plays. I think if you look at last year and you compare them to previous years' Super Bowl runs and Super Bowl championship runs, there were chunk plays that we got on a consistent basis. When I say chunk plays, I'm talking about 20 yards plus plays, taking advantage of man-to-man coverage, protecting Patrick Mahomes, and more so even Patrick working on schedule. And what that means is when you work on schedule as a quarterback, that means as soon as I take the snap and shotgun, if I drop back 3 more steps, as soon as I plant my right foot, the ball is being released. If I drop back 6 more steps, like we saw in the Super Bowl against the San Francisco 49ers, 2-jet wasp, that the ball is being released. That's on schedule. The longer the quarterback holds on to the ball, the less on schedule he is. So to start this season, to go against a team, especially with the defense of the Chargers, I want to see how he works going on schedule. And then I want to see the guys make some chunk plays down the field. I think it's tough to win in the NFL if you have to always rely on 12 to 14 play drives. Yeah, they're great. You want to give your defense time to relax on the sideline and catch their breath, and you want to have those sprinkled in. But occasionally you'd like to see a 5-6 play drive with a big chunk play down the sideline, or a running play, which we were void of last year as far as big chunk plays in the running game. So that's the first thing that comes out to me. And then defensively, I want to see us impose our will on opposing teams. I want to see Justin Herbert uncomfortable in the pocket, and I want to see us be more physical, because as much as I hate it, the Chargers were one of the more physical defenses in football last year. They had a +12 giveaway takeaway ratio. Justin Herbert did not throw many interceptions, only threw 3. So to me, we got to impose our will defensively and get them a little uncomfortable.
Danan, when you look at those targets, right, we know no Rashee Rice for the first 6 games. He won't come back till that Raiders game in mid-October. Let's say Rice was going to get 8 to 10 targets per game. That might be on the light side for some games, but let's call it 8 to 10 targets. How do you think those are divvied up for these first 6 games? Because I don't think they're all just going to one guy. What order? Who gets the benefit? Who do you think they're going to tomorrow?
Yeah, I think what we'll see is kind of a hodgepodge of guys that will be leaned on. We didn't see much of Noah Gray, and obviously not much of Travis Kelce in the preseason. They will be staples in this offense because Patrick has the utmost confidence in those guys. But when you consider Rashee Rice going down, let's just go back to last year. When he went down, we started to throw the ball around, and we didn't necessarily have the big chunk plays except that of Xavier Worthy. But Patrick has that innate ability, and I played with a great quarterback in Joe Montana and Rich Gannon, and guys that knew I should say this, they had confidence in the guys they had confidence in. Well, what I've seen with Patrick Mahomes, with the assortment of receivers that he's worked with in his illustrious career, he's okay with trusting guys. When Nico Remigio's on the field, he feels confident with him. When Juju is on the field, there's obviously confidence there. Tyquan Thornton. There are different guys that have shown up and shown the ability to gain the trust of Patrick Mahomes. So to say it's going to be one guy, yeah, we can have the expectation that Xavier Worthy should hopefully have over 100 yards receiving without Rashee Rice on the field. But I think what's going to be more impressive about this run and this game particularly is how he spreads the ball around to other guys that we may not know will be a factor in this offense for the foreseeable future. I mean, we're just going to have to fill in or get in where you fill in, and this is one of those games without Rashee on the field. So it's going to be a hodgepodge of guys, and I just want to see Patrick be comfortable doing it.
What's your ceiling for Xavier Worthy? For a while I was kind of hoping Rice and Worthy would turn into A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, with obviously Worthy being the Smith end of that equation. What is your ceiling for Xavier Worthy after we saw the last 5 to 7 weeks last year?
When you say ceiling, are you talking about yardage and numbers? I mean, he had 9 touchdowns from scrimmage last year. I think that should be doable again, especially the way they use him in the red zone with jet sweeps. If they can isolate him, I feel like Xavier Worthy is also a better, more productive receiver from the slot than he is just lining up on the outside. While Rashee Rice is probably the opposite. You can line him up outside the numbers, and he can be that conventional receiver to work isolated against a corner, while Xavier moving him in motion shifts, placing him in the slot where he's not going to be in bump and run and might not get jostled around too much could work for him. So, he had 9 touchdowns last year. Okay, let's say without Rashee Rice on the field for 6 weeks, at the end of the season, if he has 12, I think that's a good number for him in his sophomore season. And if we can get up to the 900 yards receiving, I think that would be very admirable. I think that could be a ceiling for him, especially if you consider that Travis will be healthy the entire season, Rashee will be healthy when he comes back. I think having that kind of production would really be a nice addition for the Chiefs this season.
We're talking to Danan Hughes here on Cody and Gold. Of course, Danan is in Brazil. He'll be on the broadcast with Mitch and Josh Klingler as well. They're beginning tomorrow night from Sao Paulo, and he's joining us thanks to Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue, and by Flight. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. What's the matchup maybe nobody's really talking about enough, or the matchup that you think will end up having a much bigger impact on this game Friday?
I don't know if anybody's not speaking about it, but I think you have to think about Khalil Mack against Josh Simmons and Jawan Taylor. I mean, I feel like that's probably one of the bigger matchups that you want to see, not so much because of Josh Simmons being a rookie, but you got that entire left side of the offensive line that are pretty inexperienced, and they're going against one of the more dominant pass rushers and defenses from last year, with Khalil Mack being a leader. So I feel like that's the one that's going to jump out. Every time the Chiefs break the huddle, get to the line of scrimmage, my eyes will go to where is number 52 on defense. Okay, which guy is he going against right now? And then watching those guys as soon as the ball is snapped. Now, I'll move my eyes towards where the play is going, but I think for the snap of the ball, it's going to go right to where is 52, and are we able to kind of stabilize his abilities on this particular play and the next play and the next play. Because unfortunately, and this is part of the reason why I would have never wanted to be a kicker or an offensive lineman, because kickers, you can miss one kick and they'll be calling for your job. Offensive tackle, you play 65 plays on average a game. If you give up 2 sacks, you had a terrible game, and everybody's calling for your job. While you might have nullified everybody that was a rushing force for 63 of those other plays. So I want to see if Josh Simmons, he's going to get beat. He's going to have his hands full. There's going to be a time or times where Khalil Mack and those guys, Perryman, Tui Peloto, they're going to win. What's the next play look like? What's the next play after that look like? Are we going to see something like we saw last year when we played Max Crosby and those outside linebackers for the Raiders that just had a field day in the backfield against Patrick Mahomes because they smelled blood in the water? I want to see how he bounces back from the inadversity that he's going to face when Khalil Mack wins one rep.
You've mentioned Travis Kelce multiple times as one of the matchups. How much are you buying into the best shape of your life version of Travis Kelce that seems to be the story of the offseason, at least for the football side for Travis? Obviously, I'd say the engagement is the other one, Danan.
I buy into it totally. I mean, just look at him. Look at what he looks like on the field, how he's moved on the field. I was up at training camp several times and watched him move and maneuver like he's always done, and there's not been any indication that he is not in full form, ready to go. Plus, with the incentive of the embarrassment in the Super Bowl, what he said about that, and not wanting to go out on that low note, like, to me, that's all you need when you're talking about 87, is that he's mentally engaged, and what you see physically is that he's ready to go. And outside of bad footing on a field that we're unsure of right now, I feel like he's going to explode in this game. He's always had good games against the Chargers. I know they have Derwin James Jr., who usually is a force against any other tight end in the league, but Travis has done a fine job, especially when he's lined up man-to-man against Derwin James Jr., and we'll see how that matchup goes. That'll be another big matchup that I'll be watching for.
Danan, we'll be listening tomorrow night. Appreciate it, man. Safe travels, obviously, back from Brazil as well.
All right, fellas. Appreciate y'all.
You got it. Danan Hughes with us here on 96.5 The Fan. Yeah, he slept, he said, for 10 hours of the flight.
Good for him.
I'm jealous. I really am. I'm jealous to be able to do that. I've never been on a flight anywhere near that length. I haven't been out of the country, so the longest flight I've been on is probably like 4 hours or something like that. But being out of sleep for 10 hours on a plane, without popping an Ambien or something, there's no chance I'm doing that. No chance whatsoever.
Have you done enough radio interviews now in other cities of like people questioning if the Chiefs are going to be good? Because like what Danan's saying is the part that I can't get past for when I'm having these conversations with people, which is last year, the Chiefs won 15 games and went to a Super Bowl in which they lost their number one wide receiver, their number one running back. They had nothing at left tackle. They went through 4 different left tackles. They lost their number 2 wide receiver. in addition to the number one guy, and they were still a 15-win team. Like, what part of this year's roster is supposed to make me think this team isn't good enough? Still Andy, still Patrick, better players than they had last year. So, like, why would I assume the end is nigh? I don't know.
No, I'm with you. I think it's just lasting memory for everybody is Eagles, and people enjoyed that outside of Kansas City. People enjoyed seeing them get their butts kicked. And it's like wishful thinking and hope, too. And look, if I was a fan in Buffalo, I'd be hoping that was the end. And so I think a lot of it is wishful thinking, but that's why I've said it over and over throughout the offseason. I know you agree. And that is like, that's what's exciting about tomorrow night is like, you got a chance to remind people, no, we're still going to be a problem for you. Oh, and we might be better positioned than we were a year ago, especially if the left tackle ends up being what we think he's going to be.
And Rice returns to form
and Josh
after
Simmons.
the injury and after the suspension.
As far as what Danan said at the end there against the Chargers and Travis Kelce and how he fares, I mean, yeah, this is an opponent that he fares well. He's played the Chargers 20 times. He's got 1,300 yards, 65 touchdowns, a catch percentage of 72%. He plays well against the Chargers, whether it's under Harbaugh, whether it was with, what's his name? I already forgot his name. My goodness. Who was the guy before him? It's going to drive me crazy now. The guy that everybody ended up loving at the end. At first, he was like a fan favorite, and then he went backwards on the analytics. Oh, my gosh. What the heck was his name?
Brandon Staley?
Thank you.
I had to think about it.
Yeah.
I was
like,
going to the name.
His name completely wiped from my memory.
Did he even exist anymore?
Yeah. Anyway, Brandon Staley. It doesn't matter. The point was, like, he's been able to have success, and we know he's obviously trimmed down. He looked good at camp. I would not be surprised at all if Travis Kelce gets off to a nice start this season.
And look, at the risk of sounding like we talk matchups, at the risk of having to eat my words on Monday's show, you know what matchup I don't care about in this game? You can try to sell me Najee Harris all you want. He's so slow. He wasn't any good in Pittsburgh. Like, he ran for like 3 yards a carry. He's going to just figure it now. Come on.
No, the question more is Hampton.
Harris.
The question is whether or not the rookie in Hampton can have success. We know it's a run-first scheme for the most part there with Harbaugh. But I do think we'll talk Herbert more tomorrow and just our view of him heading into 2025. I think both quarterbacks are going to play very well tomorrow night. I mean, Herbert will put up some good numbers. I have no doubt.
Typically does.
And I think Mahomes is going to play great. I think it'll be a fun game tomorrow night. You heard Nate yesterday. You heard Danan just now talking about the field. We've seen some photos. The practice field is way different. That was like a high school. I mean, that's
a joke.
They looked like they were practicing at Heritage Park or something.
Yeah.
I mean, that was something else. Hopefully the NFL has taken care of the field that they're actually going to play on and not going to be embarrassed by it again.
It's the one we went to as kids called Necco. Like the Necco Raiders used to play there. That's the exact field.
Someone said it looks like the practice field looks like the longest yard from the new the updated movie of the practice field.
Before we get back into the Chiefs, and we promised yesterday after getting in an argument over where Zach Taylor and where Sean McDermott belong in the coaching list, we will give you our top 10, bottom 10 in the coaching search.
That's right.
Here coming up in just a few minutes. We do have to address the fact that Carrington once again spread some more lies about you.
Yeah, man.
And what I think is now the bigger elephant in the room, which is now that we have the video of the Kiss Cam, how right this show was. First, he kept saying he's offering you a ticket to Kansas.
Lie.
I sat in this room yesterday when you said,
double down on that.
when you said, send me the ticket, I'll go. Send it to me. And Carrington's like, nah, you're not going to go, which means I don't have it. But he kept saying, Gold, he called his bluff yesterday in the studio, and he said, send it to me.
Yeah.
I said, send me the tickets and parking pass, man. I'll find a way to get there.
So it's not a real offer. Let's
sent.
start there.
Yeah.
I actually think the Kiss Cam thing is even worse. Even worse, because I think he tried to use this as an excuse, as in, hey, it's my friend, and she invited me, and I was trying to be a good person, and I went there. And then, and like, we're just friends. That makes the lean in for the kiss even more egregious. Gold, we all have, like, I've got friends that have been my friends for a really long time that are female. If that's an even worse kiss to go in for. That's an insane one. You're friends? And you're clearly friends and you go in for it? No good. No good.
Okay,
no
hang on
good.
a second.
No
So
horrifying.
This is the video that the station sent, correct? This is the video you're talking
from
about?
the Royals directly.
So
the Jumbotron.
So what CDOT did, and CDOT's explanation, I don't know if you guys heard it or not.
I heard it.
CDOT said when they popped up, he leaned in and basically said, you know what we got to do, right? And she goes, you're not mine?
Yeah, that sounds worse. That's the most arrogant thing I've ever heard anyone say before attempting a kiss with a friend.
He didn't attempt a kiss in the video, though. He leaned over to say, you know what we got to do, right? And she said, nah, you're not mine. So
that's attempting a kiss, in my opinion.
No.
He leaned in and he said, "You know."
Wait, are you trying to say that he did not try to get a kiss in the kiss cam?
Based on the video,
he said he got shut out himself on air.
Based on the video, it doesn't look like he actually attempted the kiss. But based on what he said yesterday, he turned and said, we're on the kiss cam. You know what we got to do, right? And then she shook her head and said, "No, you're not mine." Which I can totally respect her side of things. I want to be her friend.
Well, yeah, her side. Nobody's blaming her. Nobody's blaming her at all.
Her energy's fantastic.
That also doesn't mean that CDOT shouldn't be embarrassed. But to me, based on the way the video, I need to see an actual kiss attempt. It doesn't look like he actually attempted a kiss.
What do you think? He said
to tell something.
He said, "You know what we got to do." He didn't mean hug, high five.
Yeah, but
he was hoping she was going to say, "Yeah, why not?"
No,
and they were going to kiss. That's what he was hoping for.
Correct.
Come on.
His level of embarrassment should still be there, but he didn't attempt a kiss on the video. You don't lean over to tell somebody something in the video. The video cut off before he attempted a kiss.
He leaned in. He leaned in and was hoping. That's why I'm not going to even talk too much about the KUMU thing. He fired shots a couple days ago, and boy, oh boy, 24 hours later, did it backfire because the kiss cam happened.
Bad timing for him.
Not good timing for the kiss cam incident for Carrington. But yes, he does continue to spread the same lie. He'll probably say it again today.
The level of energy that she came with, though, I can respect.
Yeah,
nobody,
absolutely.
100%.
I don't know why. I'm not sure why he keeps insisting that he's offered me tickets. He absolutely has not. He's said that Rob has tickets and he's got tickets and they have a ticket right there for me. False. Definitely haven't seen the ticket. Definitely haven't been offered the ticket.
You asked for it yesterday.
I did. So, yeah, we gave you the facts. I don't like how Drew's trying to shift. Which team are you on? Which team are you on? Are you part of the show or not?
No, I'm on your guys' side that he should be embarrassed, and the fact that he brought up the whole ticket thing when he hasn't given you the tickets is
I know.
It doesn't make it doesn't make any
sense. A lot
of
lies coming out of Columbia. A lot of lies.
I tell you what, the only way
you don't have to tell a lie.
True. History tells us that you want to be on the Kansas side. History tells us anyway, not the Missouri side.
That's what it seems like. And who knows what happens on Saturday? You might want to be on the Kansas side as well.
I'll tell you right now.
Are you predicting a win? Is that what I just heard from you? Did you just predict the Kansas win?
No, I think Missouri wins by 1 point, but I think you should be very encouraged as a Kansas fan if they lose in the fashion that.
Someone says Gold. Rob's going to the KU game. He's not scared. Again, I told you I'm not spending money in Columbia, and I'm not spending $250 for a ticket. Carrington said I'm scared because he offered me a ticket, and I said no. He has not offered me a ticket. So this goes to any of you out there. If you want to give me a ticket and a parking pass, I will find myself in Columbia. I'm not paying any money to go in Columbia.
Well, you just said, Gold, I can really appreciate because it's peak rivalry in college sports. I don't even want, not only do I not want to go, I don't want to spend any money in the city. No. I don't want to be there, period. It doesn't matter. If I got everything to go to the game, that's fine. I don't want to, if you went to the game, you wouldn't buy anything from the concession stand. You wouldn't buy anything because...
No, you think I'm buying a box of popcorn with Truman the Tiger on it? Hell no.
You don't even buy, I don't even think you'd buy a bottle of water. No. I don't think you'd buy a Dasani bottle of water because you know it goes to Missouri.
Yeah,
that's how much I think you hate that.
Yeah, I can't wait for the game on Saturday. But only truths on this show, lies from 2 to 6.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what happens.
The lies with Carrington Harrison.
Carrington doesn't have to lie. like why are you here lying, man? You don't have to lie. You know,
he might be on the show tomorrow. We'll see.
He could just
might have to invite him on the show.
He could just say, Gold's not a true fan would be at the game. That would not be, I offered him a ticket or like he could try to call a shot and start a little MUKU without the lies. He didn't. He went the lie route.
To your point, a true fan of the game,
got him on the
a true fan of the team would also show up on Fan Club when we have you scheduled and
Damn, I didn't go there.
Show up.
I didn't go there.
Come in tomorrow for Fan Club CDOT and Rob.
The invite has been sent out. He knows. He knows that he's offered the spot on Fan Club tomorrow to talk this whole thing out.
Does that answer your question on whose side I'm on or not?
That was stronger.
Uh-huh. Someone says Carrington. See that we only tell truths. That's speculation. Someone says maybe Carrington paid to set the whole thing up and it just backfired. That would not be. That'd be rumors.
That'd be more funny.
We work in facts on this show.
Just facts.
Above board show.
Uh-huh.
Since Springfield, for no particular reason, this is an above board show.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Good old Springfield, home of the Missouri State Bears.
That's how I'll remember that trip.
Missouri State Bears.
Their opener did not go too well.
I saw that. They're playing USC, though.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, they lost by 60.
Yeah.
That was tough.
Yeah, tough one. Don't forget, football is back at ESPN Bet Sportsbook inside Hollywood Casino. at Kansas Speedway. Join us Friday, September 5th as Kansas City takes on Los Angeles and Brazil, and register to win your share of $5,000 in pin bonus play during the game. Thanks for being back on our side, Drew.
Are you excited for what's next, Cody? I feel like you've been waiting 24 hours to get to what we're getting to next.
Yeah, I'm excited. And I'm not doing it. I just want to make it clear as part of the tease going into this. I am not giving you my list of coaches just to I'm not Dan Orlovskying it, who today said Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts are a modern day Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. I'm not just saying my list of coaches to get under your skin. This is genuinely how I feel about where the coaches rank in the NFL. So coming up next, we will get to the coach rankings.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's also get into some of the trash of the day and individual player expectations. And a few of them spoke today, actually, in Brazil. That's next.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Football is back tonight, and Underdog is the best place to select entries and win money all season long. And you can play right now on the Missouri side. So tonight, you're watching a little Philly, you're watching a little Dallas. You can make those selections playing over at Underdog on the Missouri side. All you have to do is choose whether your favorite players will go higher or lower than their stats, like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. I actually happen to like Barkley to go lower than his rushing yards for the game today, and that's a selection you can make right now over at Underdog. You can win up to 1,000 times your money. You can play with as little as $1. And like I said, it's an easy-to-download app that you should download now to see kind of where you're at, get a feel for the app before the action starts tonight on the football side. Underdog. Make plays and win money. Download the app today with promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5 tonight. That's promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, over at Underdog. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets at underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concern with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.instabegambling.org.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
The Other Place, Shawnee, Olathe, Downtown Overland Park, Mission, and Belton. Come hang out on the patio and listen to some great live music at most locations Thursday through Saturdays. Enjoy some great food and also some incredible beer specials. Make The Other Place your summer headquarters. The Other Place and theotherplace.com.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me. Like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Rates may vary. Bill monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
As a scientist, I can tell you that Sundays are only 24 hours long. But with NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV, you get every game every Sunday all in one place. That's upwards of 30 hours of NFL in one day. How can there be 30 hours in 24 hours, you ask? I have a theory. Magic. New users get NFL Sunday Ticket for 8 payments of $34.50 per month. Sign up at NFLSundayTicket.com. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games excludes digital-only games and commercial use. Terms and embargoes apply. Availability varies.
Tomorrow only, get your official Chiefs flag at your nearest Community America Credit Union branch. And while you're there, enter to win tickets to the Chiefs season opener at Arrowhead. Flag sales benefit Ronald McDonald House Charities of Kansas City. Tomorrow only, get yours before they're gone.
Hey, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here. I'm letting you know that FanDuel is coming to Missouri. That's right. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app, is heading to Missouri. The wait will soon be over. On December 1st, you'll finally be able to bet on all your favorite teams and all your favorite sports. With FanDuel, there's tons of ways for you to get in on the action. You can bet on everything from the money line, over-unders, to which team you think is going to cut down the nets or win the championship. Build parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines. Whatever your style is, FanDuel has you covered. Plus, with live betting, you can even bet on who you think will score the next touchdown in the game that you're watching and the one after that. So mark your calendars. FanDuel is coming to the good side, Missouri, on December 1st. See for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook app. FanDuel, play your game. FanDuel is an official partner of 96.5 The Fan. Must be 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Has your home been on the market without success? An expired listing can feel frustrating, but it doesn't have to be the end of your journey. The Sharp Homes team specializes in turning things around. The Sharp Homes team can also give you options. Do you want to skip the showings and open houses and go straight to sold? Well, contact them to discuss their instant offer program. If I needed to sell my home, Dawn Sharp, brokered by Epic Realty, would be the only agent I would trust. Google Sharp Homes Team. That's Sharp Homes Team. Google them today.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 and monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
From pads and rotors to shocks and struts, coming to a full stop should never mean your business does too. At Napa, we are the pros that know brakes and suspension better than anyone. So when others are grinding their gears, our premium parts and exceptional service deliver results. Whether you're operating a local shop or managing a national fleet, Napa has exactly what you need, when and where you need it. Get the brake and suspension parts you're looking for right now at Napa.
Like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Listen to K-State versus Army this Saturday on The Fan, AM 610, with pregame at 4 and kickoff at 6. This is your home for K-State athletics. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
11 o'clock hour here. It's Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tab. We got Drew Nixon producing the show. Trash of the day, 15 minutes away. We're also going to hear from Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce coming up during the Chiefs Red Half Hour. That's in about 35 minutes from now, as, of course, the team made it to Brazil last night. They did a little walkthrough on the practice field that everybody was looking at photos of. And then they held a media session joking around with some of the foreign media that is in attendance. Obviously, a huge media presence there in Sao Paulo for Chiefs Chargers tomorrow night in the game right here on 96.5 The Fan. Pre-game coverage starts 3 hours before kickoff. Josh Briscoe begins the Chiefs Radio Network pre-game coverage. Obviously, we'll have post-game as well. And then during the game, Mitch Holthus, Danan Hughes, Josh Klingler on the call here on your home for the Chiefs. So yesterday, honestly, it wasn't planned. We just somehow started talking about coaches, and we're like, all right, we were all disagreeing on where McDermott would be, and then obviously got into the whole Zach Taylor thing as well. Like, all right, fine.
And Drew didn't like where I had
Let's
Taylor.
go top 10, bottom 10 coaches in the NFL. See, and here's how I did my list, at least, before we even unveil it. I was not basing mine off strictly who has more hardware in the trophy case. This was not just who has won more games, who has been to more Super Bowls. That was not. I'm picking it right this second in the year 2025. who would I want to be my head coach if I was
So if it was
a
Wife
fan,
Swap,
if I
it was a
a
TV show.
quarterback, whatever, right?
I changed my rankings to fit that narrative
okay,
as
are
well
we
now.
all doing it that
Yeah.
way? Okay.
I changed
treat
it
it
to
like
that.
it's a reality TV
Mine
show.
was
I
a
think
mix
it's
of everything, but I changed it
Sure.
to that in particular.
So before anybody freaks
I
out
like
and
it that
says,
way.
how is this guy ahead of this guy? He's gone to more Super Bowls or something like that. Just understand, we're talking about the year 2025. Who do you think for this day and age of the NFL is a better coach for your quarterback or for you as a fan, et cetera? All right, let's start with the top end of it, right? Then we'll get to the bottom. Top 10 coaches. I'm not going to spend too much time on each one because we've got obviously way too many names
We can get
to go
into
through.
the argument.
All right, number.
You have 11.
Well, I'll explain in a second.
Okay.
I'll explain in a second.
all right,
I'll explain.
all right.
It's the top 10, but I put the person at 11 because of the conversation.
Because it needed to be a part of it.
Yeah,
I got
sure.
you.
Yeah, relax. Relax.
Actually, when I did mine, I did all 32 because I felt like once I got through 10
You
and 10,
ranked
I might
all
as well do it.
32?
I won't give you all 32.
Andy Reid was 1. Sean McVay was 2. I put John Harbaugh 3.
Okay.
Kevin O'Connell 4. Matt LaFleur 5. Kyle Shanahan 6. Dan Campbell 7. Mike Tomlin's 8. Sean Payton's 9. Nick Sirianni was 10. And Sean McDermott would be 11 if we were allowed to rank.
So after all that, you did end up with McDermott
Yeah.
11. Was that a little lower than you were thinking?
Yeah, but truthfully, Nick Sirianni I went back and forth on. I wanted to flip Nick Sirianni out of the top 10, but I did to go ahead and give him the edge. He has been at 2 Super Bowls, even though I don't know what he really does. And Sean McDermott has had too many blunders in the postseason, so that's why he's 11. But that's my top 10 plus 1, I guess. Just so you know where I would. I guess the reason why I did that, I want to know where you have McDermott. So Drew,
Sure, I'll tell you where I have
so
McDermott.
McDermott's not in your top 10. Tell us where you have him. I would have him 11.
Okay, so mine is Andy Reid, McVay, Harbaugh. We're not varied there, are we? You had McVay 2 on your list, or where'd you have McVay?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Reid, McVay, Harbaugh, John, that is obviously, O'Connell, Sirianni, and LaFleur, 5, 6, and 7. And then I have the old heads who I think still do a good job. Peyton, Mike Tomlin, and Dan Campbell rolling out my 8, 9, and 10. Before I would get to McDermott, I had, when I ranked him out, DeMeco Ryans, Pete Carroll, Mike Vrabel ahead of him. I ended up having McDermott 14, not 15 or 16 or 17 like I had thought. I had him just ahead of anybody that would be Dan Quinn, Jim Harbaugh. Zach Taylor was 18 on my list when it all shook out. And then like kind of the unknowns, right? Ben Johnson kind of rounds out the 20s and we're in that range. So we can get to the other ones later. But Sean McDermott would rank 14 for me. I would have Mike Tomlin and Sean Payton and Dan Campbell all in my top 10. But yeah, I think Sirianni at this point, as much as I dislike him as a person, I'm not going to dismiss his recent success stories outside of there. But yeah, it's all offensive-minded guy before that. Reid, McVay, Shanahan, O'Connell, give me some LaFleur. Give me some of the guys who have worked with offenses. So that's my list. McDermott would be 14.
14.
Zach Taylor would be 18.
So who? Well, we'll get to the bottom. Who
do you have around
Yeah,
there?
who do you have 11, 12, 13 that's in front of McDermott then?
DeMeco Ryans, Pete Carroll, Vrabel, Quinn, and Jim Harbaugh are all.
Quinn is interesting.
Those are the people surrounding McDermott.
Quinn is interesting.
Quinn's right after McDermott.
Okay.
But
okay.
right before. I don't think his first circumstance was any good. You gave him a good quarterback, looks like a pretty good coach. Got to an NFC title game, I can believe that.
Okay. All right, Drew.
So I've vastly changed my list because of the criteria that you presented. I was like, you know what? I'm going to match the criteria and I'm going to change things up a little bit.
All right.
So again, this is as who I would want as my head coach. Well, number 1 is Andy Reid. Number 2 is Sean McVay. Those things don't change. Dan Campbell, I've got at 3. I like Dan Campbell. Leadership ability, I think, is there. I'd want to play. If I was a player, I'd want to play for Dan Campbell. John Harbaugh at 4. Matt LaFleur at 5. I got Kevin O'Connell at 6. Mike Vrabel, similar thing as Dan Campbell at 7. I'd want to play for Mike Vrabel. I feel like he does a really good job collectively of
You got
getting
Vrabel quite a
everybody
bit higher than me.
of everybody
7
to play
is
their
very
best.
high.
I mean, he had success in Tennessee.
Again, I'm not looking at it as success anymore as much as it is who do I want right now as a head coach to coach my team. Mike Tomlin, I've got at 8. McDermott at 9. Nick Sirianni at 10.
So we both have Sirianni at 10. Okay.
I'm surprised that you guys have them quite as low as that. Sirianni. He
can't be. Where do you have him?
6. Right ahead of LaFleur.
I would rather have other guys as my head coach than Nick Sirianni. That's not to say that he's unsuccessful, but I'd rather have other guys.
I think that you're thinking about it from you, a person who thinks Nick Sirianni is a jerk, and not the players who do like Nick Sirianni.
No, for the same reason. I don't have Kyle Shanahan in my top 10.
That's insane to me. I still think. But now, look, I understand. Like, insane to me. Where is Zach Taylor on your list, by the way?
I would much rather have Dan Campbell or Mike Tomlin as my head coach before Nick Sirianni. Absolutely.
Yes, agreed.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Bottom 10?
I would have to answer your question, Cody, real quick. I would have him in the 11 to 13, 12 to 14 range. Zach Taylor. I don't
So
think
we're not as far off. I said 15 to 20, and I had Zach Taylor.
If I had to put him anywhere, I'd probably say 12 or 13.
But see, it's not so much the number 12 or 13. The question is, who do you have behind Zach Taylor that you think he's better than?
It's pretty much all the unknown guys are the guys who I know.
I think he's a better coach than DeMeco Ryans.
So my bottom 10 are Brian Dable last. I understand that they're a coach with less experience. He stinks. He's never run a good team. He's going to have a bad quarterback situation again. I don't think he should be in charge of Jackson Dart's development. So as of right now, Dable's last. Schottenheimer, who we know absolutely nothing about, is 30th. Liam Cohen, Kellen Moore, Jonathan Gannon, Aaron Glenn, Raheem Morris, Shane Steichen, Todd Bowles, and Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson, I could have talked myself into 20. He was in the bottom 10, but he was the crop of the bottom 10, as in I probably wouldn't hate if he ended up being my coach. But if where the Chiefs are right now, I would choose a more established guy. I think the bottom 10's easier than the top 10.
Yeah,
the bottom 10 is just guys who already stink or guys who have proven nothing.
Bottom 10, it's just the order you have to come up with. The names are pretty simple. Yeah, bottom 10 for me was Brian Callahan, Brian Schottenheimer, Brian Dable, Kellen Moore, Aaron Glenn, Raheem Morris, Jonathan Gannon, Liam Cohen, Dave Canales, Shane Steichen, Ben Johnson. Zach Taylor's falls in like 17, 18.
He would have been in the bottom 10.
17 or 18 is where I have Zach Taylor.
So my bottom is starting at 32, the worst. Shane Steichen. The way he's handled the whole thing with the Colts, I think the quarterback stuff is ridiculous. Brian Schottenheimer at 31, Brian Dable at 30, Jonathan Gannon at 29, Kellen Moore 28, Brian Callahan 27, 26, Ben Johnson 25, Mike McDaniel.
You have Mike McDaniel where?
29?
25.
Oh, you're going to be offended. I had Mike McDaniel ahead of Zach Taylor.
I think Zach Taylor's 18, McDaniel's like 17. Like I kind of put him in that's right where they're both at.
Similar,
Yeah,
same. It was literally 17 and 18 was where I had McDaniel and Zach Taylor. 25th?
Yeah.
What's your problem with the way he's been running the show?
I think it's
other than his quarterback's been getting hurt.
They're just extreme. They're just underwhelming when it feels like that he needs to coach a really good. Like when he's had to coach, he's been out coached in certain instances where I don't. It feels like he isn't.
He's very similar to Zach
he's not bringing anything enough. He's not bringing enough to the table.
I think Zach Taylor, and not personality-wise, obviously, but in terms of just who they are, I think they're very similar in terms of not only what they've accomplished, but also just how they go about in terms of play call. Like I think they're very, very both coaches considering what they have had. I know you'll say, well, Tua is not his fault, but considering what they have, I think both coaches should have been able to do more.
Yeah, they've underperformed based on the talent that they've had on offense.
Sure. The reason I think Zach Taylor moved up in my list is because Joe Burrow gets more credit than anybody else for the way the offense looked last year, but Zach Taylor calls all the plays. He is as involved with that offense as any other. He's as involved with that offense as Andy Reid is involved with the Chiefs offense.
And Mike McDaniel calls plays.
Yeah, he does too.
He's got. Mike
I understand that, but he has
the same thing.
Mike McDaniel hasn't had an offense that looked as prolific, even when Tua has been healthy.
He doesn't have Joe Burrow.
You know what's crazy?
I understand that, but I don't think that he also has more. If we're talking success, and if you want to point to the quarterbacks in that scenario, then I think you can do that with a lot of coaches in terms of the success that they've had.
So last year's not a great example because obviously Miami's offense was very bad and they were without their weapons outside of that. So last year, surprisingly, Cincinnati only had the 7th best scoring offense in the NFL, which is actually kind of embarrassing considering how good they were on offense, which means they were probably bad in the red zone.
It was all the start to the season.
Without looking. The year before, Miami, you said they've never had an offense like Cincinnati's? 2 years ago in 2023, Miami's offense was the 3rd-ranked offense in the entire NFL.
And they scored 6 points in the playoffs.
Hold on. But, Drew, it was better points per game. You always cite playoff. If you're ranking one playoff game.
If you're ranking coaches, to me, if we're talking about ranking coaches, I think you have to consider what they've done accomplishment-wise. It cannot just be, well, they've got more talent, they don't have more talent. Because whether we want to talk about the coaches or not,
it for Zach Taylor. That's the problem.
Mike McDaniel has never won a playoff game as a head coach. Zach Taylor has won 5, and I believe been to 2 AFC title games and a Super Bowl.
I think they're both ranked in the same. As I said, 17 versus 18. They're both in the same middle of the pot.
But as good as the players are, I think when we're talking, I think the coaches and accomplishments, they have to be considered when you're looking at ranking head coaches who are around each other, and the gap widens when you look at. Zach Taylor is more like Sean McDermott because I think of the accomplishments than he is of Mike McDaniel even though the offense for Miami has been really good, they
I guess the question that we'll never have an
done
answer
anything
to,
with
if
it.
Mike McDaniel was your guys' head coach in Cincinnati and Zach Taylor was in Miami, what do you think happened over the last couple of years?
I don't know.
My guess is Mike
no
McDaniel.
idea.
My guess is, now the question is,
I think he's had a better circumstance.
would the win total, like I actually would argue, I think Mike McDaniel would have had very similar success in Cincinnati
And I
with
think
Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow and T. Higgins.
Yeah, and I think that would obviously change the narrative, but we don't know that because you can say the same thing about quarterbacks or anything else.
Not denying that. It's definitely a tough one. He has
I'm sure Mike McDaniel would have been great with the Chiefs. I don't know if he'd won a Super Bowl or not. I'm sure he would be one of the top coaches in the NFL currently if we were to rank him out right now. If he had Patrick Mahomes as his quarterback,
he does have 5 playoff wins. He's 5.
Where do you guys have Stefanski? We keep on getting asked about this.
Let's see. He's not. He's like 13.
I think him and Zach Taylor are around the
I
same.
didn't rank every single one. I think he's 13 or 14.
I can tell you exactly where he is. Kevin Stefanski was he was lower than that for me.
He's in the middle grouping. He's in that 13. Like they're all. There's a bunch of coaches
He's
that are
in
very
the Mike
similar.
McDaniel, Zach Taylor quadrant.
They're in that.
He's living in that world.
13 to 18 range. They're all in the same. Like that grouping of, to me, Zach Taylor, McDaniel, Stefanski. They're all in this 13, 18. Like, okay.
I am curious, Gold. So you have Kyle Shanahan at 6. Where did you have Kyle Shanahan, Cody?
Let me see. I have Shanahan.
You have him at
6. Yes.
3rd or 4th, 5th. I don't know, something like that.
I had Reed,
4th.
McVay, Harbaugh, O'Connell, LaFleur, Shanahan, Campbell.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you had Shanahan where? Oh, you didn't. Drew, you did not have Shanahan.
He's not in my top 10.
So, but like, explain your logic. 1 second. I'm going to ask you a question, then I need you to explain your logic. You just went this whole diatribe about how playoffs matter, playoff success matters, all this stuff. Kyle Shanahan is coached, Drew.
That's not how I did.
Super Bowls.
Hang on. In fairness to that's not how I ranked my list. I'm telling you. That's why again, Zach Taylor's not in my top 10 because if I had to coach right now, I'm not picking Kyle Shanahan over any of the guys who I just gave you, and I'm not picking Zach Taylor in the top 10
But then
over
why
any of
can't
the
Mike
coaches.
McDaniel be better than Zach Taylor is my argument. My problem is you're only citing a playoff thing. Is Kyle Shanahan better than Zach Taylor? He's not in your top 10, but is he better than Zach Taylor?
Probably, but I think they're in the same relative grouping.
I obviously think he is.
Because I think that if we're looking at the entire picture of what I think makes a really good coach, last year he had a fully healthy Brock Purdy and a loaded roster. And I understand they had injuries, but if you're going to talk about the injuries there, then you have to keep the same energy around Zach Taylor. Just like you have to keep the same energy. Just like you have to keep the same energy around Mike McDaniel as well when it comes to all these injuries and stuff. Kyle Shanahan missed the playoffs last year.
He did.
In an NFC division that isn't necessarily the strongest division, but he had a fully healthy quarterback and a loaded roster. And we'll have to see. That's why I asked you the other day, does our opinion of Kyle Shanahan change if the Niners miss the playoffs? Which I believe all of us have that happening because, and I know the wide receiver room is already being dealt a little bit of a bad hand, but if they have a fully healthy defense and an offense that has Brock Purdy there as the whole season and they miss the playoffs again,
he'll move down.
Then I think that he'll has
move
to
down
move
the
down
list. He'll move down the list.
Margin.
He'll move down the list, but I think what you're wanting me to say is that if Zach Taylor gets to a wild card game and loses, that he should be in front of Kyle Shanahan, and that won't happen.
No, I'm not saying that at all because I also equivalate the accomplishments in there where I think Kyle Shanahan is a better coach than Zach Taylor is. But for the rankings in the top, for the rankings that we just gave, I went off of Gold's criteria of who I'd want right now as a head coach. And right now, I would rather have those 10 guys over Kyle Shanahan. I'd probably have Kyle Shanahan at 11.
Okay. So McDermott 9, Shanahan 11.
Yeah. I also think Mike McDonald is sneaky in that upper tier of the group where he's in the teens, 12, 13, 14, something like that.
Such an unknown. I couldn't figure out where to stick him. I just stuck him kind of in the middle without thinking.
If he wins the division, like Gold, you have Seahawks win a division, right?
I do.
If you have them, I mean, if they win, then I think just his boost as a head coach, because he was kind of an unknown still, like you said, Cody. If they win the division, then all of a sudden he's getting some more hub as a top tier coach.
Look, the list moves on. There's no doubt about it. Let's get to the trash of the day.
Trash of the day.
What do you got for us today, Gold?
Yeah, so the Yankees had an off day recently. In fact, their off day was on Monday, on Labor Day. And that night, we all know North Carolina played TCU. It was Belichick's debut. They got their butts kicked. At the game was Aaron Boone. His son is like a student assistant or something on North Carolina's staff. So he wanted to, hey, it's his son's first time as an assistant on the staff or whatever. Like, hey, go support him. And it's Bill Belichick's debut. So it's an off day. Remember, it's an off day. Yankees fans were upset that they got to make a playoff push. How dare he go there?
Go somewhere on his off day?
Which is always crazy because, again, well, I don't care if it's a Royals player, Chiefs player. If it's their off day, they can do whatever the hell they want. They don't have to be, quote unquote, locked in the way you think. They can go out and do something out and about. Anyway, so that was the beginning of this whole thing. Michael Kay, who obviously calls Yankee games, he also hosts radio on ESPN New York, I believe it is. He was talking about this and gave an unbelievable comparison and example.
Unbelievable. Listen, if you don't think he's a good manager, okay, then don't think he's a good manager. But when you're going to try to start little, fights about nonsense like this, that he went to see his son in his first, quote-unquote, coaching job with North Carolina, I'm sorry, I don't have a problem with it. And I've always said that about players, too. When players are out, they should be back in their hotel room. Okay, what if they're having an orgy in their hotel room? Is that okay? You wouldn't know about it. So if they go out to dinner with people, or they're having fun with people outside, well, that angers you because there's a game the next day. But if they were in the hotel room and they set up a trapeze and there were people flying through the air having an orgy, you wouldn't know about it, but you'd be fine. The things that people get upset about, it's just beyond me. It is absolutely beyond me.
That's a very specific example to give from Michael Kay of what you don't know what they're doing in their hotel room, and he had to.
They could be doing trapeze orgies. That's the first thing he goes
It makes
to.
me wonder if he's heard a rumor that something like that has happened in his days calling Yankees games. That there's Yankees players have done that. Just what a weird example. Like, we get his point, his overall point. We all were on the same page, man. We were all there with you. That players can do whatever they want on their off day. The fact that he took it to the example of an orgy, it's quite something.
A very specific style
That's
of
what I'm
orgy.
saying. Did he hear
acrobatics?
Did he hear that this has happened before? That was what I'm wondering.
The way he was saying that, he made it sound like you have no idea the kinds of things they do in the rooms.
Right.
He's making it sound like it's eyes wide shut every time a player's on the road. And you're like, relax a little. Why did he say it so many times?
Drew, you ever see Eyes Wide Shut?
There's no way he even knows what that movie is.
I don't know what that is.
I will never forget that movie because my sophomore year English teacher, who taught us advanced comp or whatever, suggested we go see that movie.
In the 90s,
I was
right?
16.
1999.
I was 16 years old, and I had an English teacher suggest that we go see that movie. And if you've seen any portion of that movie, you would just know that that is not appropriate for any 16-year-old.
Yeah, it was in theaters, Drew. This was a movie that was in theaters. Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman, 1999.
I was 4.
It's officially labeled as an erotic drama film.
That's what it sounds like.
It's pretty much, yeah. Watch the trailer for it, Drew, and you'll see why.
Okay,
someone says, could you imagine Aaron Judge in that hotel room?
Okay.
All rise, Aaron Judge.
I do think it's kind of crazy.
As soon as he enters the room, all rise.
Regular fans, a lot of times, I don't understand this logic that is you want them to treat their life differently than any other part you treat your life.
Yeah.
Like you've never gone to a bar the Sunday before you work on Monday before the presentation with the Smiths or whatever. It's a regular season game. I wouldn't care. Gold, here's the truth. I wouldn't care if he missed a regular season game to go watch his kid make his coaching debut. His job can be different, but you can miss work for things for your kids. Like, it's kind of insane.
I think the off day.
It's insane. It was an off day.
It's weird for athletes. People, view it so differently, but they shouldn't. I mean, it's the same thing with, someone has the birth of their child and needs to go on paternity leave, and they're in the middle of a playoff push. By the way, that just happened with the Royals. No, Michael Wacha can miss a start or miss a few days to go be there for the birth of his child. Like, nobody,
it was like, why? Where are you at, Wacha?
It's a playoff push. How dare you?
And not even if you're starting. You should have your nose in the book. You should be studying, attacks of different approaches of the hitters you're going to be facing. Like, get out of here.
Well, there's still life. They still have, they're still humans. There's still life, and especially if it's an off day.
This goes to the thing I think coaches make a big mistake on, then I know we got to get to a break, which is there is not a fixed number of hours in which Michael Wacha will be a better pitcher. He could study 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. He will not be a better pitcher if he studies 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's a limit to how much you can take in.
Sports Talk on the Fan is presented by Paramount Plus. Stream your local NFL game all season long. Kicking off with Week 1 matchup between Detroit and Green Bay, starting at just $30 for your first year. That's just like $2.50 a month. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. Up next, we're going to hear from Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes along with Travis Kelce as they spoke a little while ago in Brazil ahead of Chiefs Chargers.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Danan Hughes here. I've seen a lot of stat lines in my playing days, but these numbers, they caught my attention. Flight by Yingling, 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, and all the crisp, refreshing flavor you want in a light beer. It's brewed by the oldest brewery in America, so you know it's got some serious history behind it. If you're into stats and taste, you're going to love this beer. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer and the official beer of Danan Hughes. DG Yingling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
Count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus all season long.
Here we go.
Starting with a Week 1 NFC North rivalry between the Lions and Packers.
And he's in for a touchdown.
Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today.
With next day delivery available straight to your job site, it's easy to keep jobs running smoothly with the Home Depot. Plus, with pricing benefits for pros and top quality brands, you only have to make one stop for the whole job. The Home Depot. How pros get more done.
Men, the summer is here. Longer days, warmer nights, and romance in the air. Intimate dinners, walks on the beach, dancing in the moonlight. But if you have erectile dysfunction, you know it can ruin romance, both for you and the one you love. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And if you have ED, don't let another summer go by without getting treated. Because intimacy is one of the greatest things in life, and fear of not being able to perform should not be something you have to deal with. At Heartland Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated tens of thousands of men. Our protocols work when others don't, and we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. You could even last up to an hour or more and perform like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Hey, it's Gold, and I'm letting you know that FanDuel is coming to Missouri. That's right. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming to Missouri. The long wait will soon be over. We've been talking about sports betting in Missouri for years, truly years, but it's finally coming on December 1st. You'll be able to bet on all your favorite teams and all your favorite sports. With FanDuel, there's a ton of ways for you to get on the action. You can bet on everything from the money line to those over-unders to which team is going to win it all. You can build parlays, bet on player props, ride the live lines, whatever your style is, FanDuel has you covered. Plus, with live betting, you can even pick which player will score the next touchdown and the one after that. Mark your calendars. FanDuel is coming to Missouri on December 1st. See for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel, play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook is an official partner of 96.5 The Fan. Must be 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Get your home ready for the change in seasons with a $69 HVAC tune-up from Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. Our pros can help you lower energy costs, prevent costly breakdowns, and make sure your system is running at peak efficiency right when you need it most. And it's all backed by our exceptional service guarantee. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
For nearly 100 years, Busey Wealth Management has helped families and businesses make smart financial decisions that stand the test of time. From personalized investment plans to tax strategies that work for you, we take a big picture approach, connecting you with the right experts to help protect what you've built and plan for what's next. Busey Wealth Management, here for every chapter of your financial story.
Oh no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
my debit card.
Their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Let me tell you about this new pretzel cheddar club. Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. It takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with Cherry Berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Your cold is coming. Your cold is coming. When you feel a cold coming, shorten it with Zicam, the #1 cold shortening brand.
Oh, no, not before my big trip.
The big trip you've been planning is coming up, and so is your cold. But Zicam can shorten your cold and get you back to planning sooner.
Thanks, Revere.
We really should keep Zicam in the house.
Shorten your cold with Zicam.
Take it from America's most revered messenger. Shorten your cold at the first sign with cold shortening products from Zicam, the #1 cold shortening brand. Available in stores or see where to buy at Zicam.com.
Ready to kick off the fun? Chumba Casino is your go-to game plan. During halftime or overtime, from spinning slots to instant scratch-style cards, it's like running the perfect play, all from home. New players score a free welcome bonus and daily logins with a shot at some serious prizes every time you play. Get in the game and visit ChumbaCasino.com today. Let's Chumba. Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji Antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji Antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
Arvest Bank, believing in the power of serving others.
Arvest Bank believes in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to supporting those who serve our communities. We believe that all communities deserve a financial partner who cares. Arvest, we believe.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Chiefs Red Half Hour brought to you by All Weather Decks, Kansas City's most respected deck builder. Check them out at allweatherdecks.net. You believe, man, deck weather. It's supposed to be like 65 is like the high tomorrow.
Tomorrow, you think I was already starting to wear? You think I was? Sure. Yeah, like tomorrow is hoodie day. I'm rocking a Chiefs hoodie tomorrow on Red Friday, your favorite day.
I didn't argue tomorrow deserves to be Red Friday. My argument's the weather Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, Saturday.
Definitely football weather tomorrow. I know they're playing Brazil, but tomorrow, high of 65, a little cloudy.
Do we know what the weather in Brazil is?
I do not. That's a good question. I actually do not. Someone can look that up.
I wonder if it'll be similar because
my guess is it's sunny and going to be in the 70s or 80s.
So I wonder what.
My guess is sunny in 70s and 80s or something like that.
It's currently 82 in Sao Paulo. The high tomorrow is 79 with a low of 50.
Perfect.
Oh, very nice.
Tomorrow. Perfect. The question is about the field and the conditions there. By the way, that was something Andy Reid was asked as we go down to Brazil with some of the media availability that was going on this morning. We're going to hear from Mahomes and Travis Kelce. But for starters, Andy Reid did speak to the media. Obviously, I understand when you hear some of the questions, there's a lot of international media in attendance.
All right. Great to see everybody. It's a nice packed. Thank you for having us here in Sao Paulo.
Bom, boa tarde, pessoal. Vamos começar aqui a coletiva do head coach Andy Reid. Ele vai estar disponível para a pergunta de vocês. Good morning, guys. We will be having Coach Andy Reid with us today. He will be available for your questions. Se vocês tiverem dificuldade para fazer perguntas em inglês, eu posso traduzir para vocês.
Okay, you go ahead and fire away with the questions.
Travis, have you noticed any difference in his performance on the field amid all the great personal news?
Travis Kelce, and time's different for him. It looks all the same to us. So he's in a good place. He's worked very hard this training camp and in the off season, and I know he looks forward to getting started. So no differences.
Hey, Andy, been any updates about the field conditions and what you guys are expecting tomorrow?
Yeah, no, I know the league has spent time on the field, so field conditions was a question. I know that the league has spent time working on that. They were aware of it last year, and so I think it'll be ripping and ready to go. But you know what? Whatever it is, both teams are playing on it, and we roll.
Hey, Coach. Welcome to Brazil. Hope you guys have a nice time here. So last year, Eagles came by. They had a great game against the Green Bay, and well, we all know how the season ended. Do you think this Brazilian crowd could be a lucky charm for you guys as well this year?
Well, I know they're going to be fired up and ready to go, and if it helps us with what the Eagles did, I'll take it. That's great. Thank you.
Andy, what does this kind of media interest and the reception you guys got last night sort of tell you about the meaning of playing the game here?
So the fans were unbelievable at the airport. They were all decked out in red and yellow, and I know the crowd. We saw what the crowd was for the soccer game this past week, and we know that it's going to be wild tomorrow night. And we appreciate all the interest. It's so exciting to be able to come down here to our brothers and sisters to the south and have an opportunity to play in this game.
Coach, here.
Yes.
Last season, the Chiefs' superpower was execution in tight games, and you've talked a lot about your mantra, don't judge. Are you planning on implementing don't judge tomorrow?
Well, I try to introduce it all the time. I'm not judging anybody in here other than we're all good folks, and we're shooting for the best for this game tomorrow and for both teams, and it should be a heck of a football game, but I always try to live by that, yes.
Coach, you've had this team that played in London and then Mexico City, also Germany. Here in Brazil now, what is your first impressions on this city so far compared to the other cities you've been to?
Yeah, I would, and I wouldn't compare it. I'd just say great people. We've been fortunate to play those other places, and the people were so receptive to the game. We appreciate it. We know what the NFL is all about around the world, and we feel privileged to be an ambassador of sorts to be able to promote it here in Brazil. Yeah.
Coach, welcome to Brazil.
Thank you.
In general, what to expect for this season for Chiefs, and what atmosphere do you expect for tomorrow in the stadium?
Yeah, so I like our team, and then we'll just see. We try to take it game by game, and this one's a big one. So the people of Brazil are going to get an opportunity to see two good football teams playing each other that are in the same division, and it means a lot to both teams. So it'll be top-notch football for you, and so we'll take this one by itself, and then we'll work on the next one later as we go. And then that's the way we'll go through the season.
Hey, Coach, here. Very often in the NFL, the relationship between a quarterback and a head coach is the foundation of a winning project in the league. So how is your process to develop a good culture of football in the Chiefs and your relationship with Pat Mahomes?
Yeah, so Pat Mahomes is a special guy and a heck of a football player, but also a good father, good person, good husband. And he goes about his business the right way. I appreciate that. I appreciate how he handles his teammates and works with them and doesn't put himself above them, but he's in with them. And that's important in this sport that you do that. And I like your jacket. I might take that from you after we're done.
Coach. Excuse me. Hey, Andy, welcome to Brazil.
Thank you.
We know that it's hard to, sorry for that. We know that it's hard to lose Rashid Rice in the first games of the season. What is preferable in this process? Transfer his duties to other players or change the system to adapt with who you have available?
Yeah, so Rashid's a real positive guy, big heart, very positive in everything he does. He was practicing with us up until this past week and left with good energy. So he's away from the team now for a few weeks, but we've got good players at that position that I know will step up and work hard to do a good job in there. Yeah.
Coach Reed here. Josh Simmons had the chance to start at left tackle from day one.
How
challenging is that for a rookie to fill the spot? Here, Coach.
All right. Say it one more time. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Josh Simmons has the chance to start at left tackle from day one. How challenging it is for a rookie to start from day one at that position specifically?
Yeah, no, it's a tough deal, but he's worked very hard at solidifying that position and making sure he has an opportunity to play. And that was a big challenge for him throughout training camp. I think he's handled it right. He has the honor of going against some good defensive ends this week, and so I anticipate him stepping up and rising to that challenge in doing so. Yeah.
Hi, Coach. Welcome to Brazil. What's the secret to continuing to evolve as a head coach and keeping the Chiefs in nearly unbeatable force for all these years? And do you plan to try a Brazilian burger called podrão?
That sounds pretty good. I might have to do that. So we try to work hard at our job and as coaches and players to make sure we can put out the best product we can. And then you've got to go play. And so the guys have worked very hard. They're coming off a training camp that was about a month long, and they in the heat and humidity, and they spent a lot of hours up in St. Joe, Missouri, doing that. And so I think they look forward to having an opportunity to play against somebody else and in such a big venue here. Yeah.
Coach, over here.
Yes.
I'm Tammy from
Tammy.
Buzz and Interceptados. Yep. I like to know, how does it feel to be in a country where NFL and American football is growing so fast, but it's really recent still, and to be able to show an amazing football, this amazing sports to some kids who might actually fall in love with it and pick up a football instead of a soccer ball maybe. How does it feel to be a part of that growing culture here in Brazil?
Sure. I think that's a neat part of this. When we got off the plane, the reception we had, a lot of kids were there, all wearing jerseys, and the reception was unbelievable with the people. And so we know it's growing here. We know that. We respect soccer. We know it's growing from American football too, and both can exist at the same time and have a lot of success. Yes. Yep.
Hi, Coach. I saw you play in Frankfurt and in 2 Super Bowls, and the environment, the crowd is almost the same in the Super Bowl and in an international game. Do you think that's an advantage for Chiefs who know better this kind of environment?
Sure. Yeah, I think that it'll be loud, and I think it'll be loud when the offense is out. I think it'll be loud when the defense is out, and special teams. So we've got to be ready for all of that. We've kind of practiced it the best way we could without having fans at practice, but we've used the noise because we anticipate it being very loud. Yes.
Hi, Coach. I am Guilherme from Fanatics Football Brazil. It's awesome to have you here with us.
Thank you.
So, Coach, you are one of the 4 coaches to have 300 wins in the NFL history, and also the only one coach to have 100 victories with 2 different teams. So, I wonder, what makes you motivated to go there every single day, every single year, scout the college players, talk to the players, motivate, because you achieve all those great things. So I want to know how, if you go back into your early years, what do you tell him? It's like I made it. I achieved so many great things in the NFL history. So I want to know, Coach.
Yeah, no, I've been very fortunate to have coached a lot of real good players and had real good coaches to work with. 2 great organizations, really 3 as an assistant coach. I was with the Green Bay Packers, and so 3 organizations between the Eagles and the Chiefs. And with that came a lot of wins. The most of all that drives me is I respect the game. I understand. I love being able to teach, and I'm around young guys that are positive. So when I look in the mirror and I'm older, they're the same age, and they make you feel young. So it's a great thing.
Hey, Coach.
Oh, okay.
What's up? Gabriel Schultz from 50 Jardas. Welcome to Brazil.
Thank you.
The NFL has an international program for players for the other countries, but there are still few players considered starters. Do you think with the globalization of the NFL, hosting games in other countries, we will see more international players making impact in the league like Karlaftis? Thank you.
Yes, no, I think so. I think that'll take place. I had a kicker from Brazil at one time. He's now with the Chicago Bears, and so he would tell me how passionate the people are here, and so we look forward to coming here. But I would say yes. I think the league's going to continue to grow in different countries, and I think that's a positive. I know the league's striving for that. Go ahead, one more. Yeah.
Omar Ruiz, NFL Network. Andy, people have cited here how many Super Bowls you guys have played in, how many other international games, the different stages you've played on. Do you ever look at this experience through the eyes of maybe a rookie or a player who hasn't done this with you guys before and just kind of marvel on their experience?
Yeah, no, we've talked to all the rookies, and it's for their first game in a venue like this is something special, and that's the way you've got to handle it, as opposed to being in awe of the whole thing. Enjoy the moment and enjoy every play that you have an opportunity to play, and I think that's how they'll go about it. Thanks so much.
All right, so that was Andy Reid in Brazil, obviously taking questions from the local media there. A lot of the questions obviously are things we've heard before, but we wanted to carry
Still
some
interesting
of that.
to get the other side of it.
For sure. We're going to hear from Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce in the noon hour today. We'll push that back a little bit to the noon hour. We'll hear from both of them. They were
Travis
very
Kelce's
loose.
impression of
They were very loose.
Patrick Mahomes.
They both were very loose at the podium in terms of interacting with the media as well. But that was just a little bit from Andy. No update on anything other than, look, the field condition stuff, the league claims that it's going to be better. I just saw a photo from Kay Adams, who's going to be on the YouTube side of things tomorrow night. And obviously from far away, yeah, it looks great. But the question is, overall, what's the footing? But I think something that he was asked and the way he answered, too, it is true, you forget. Like, it'll be an atmosphere where, yeah, it's probably going to be loud the entire game. Much like
versus
the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know, it's probably going to be loud for Mahomes. It's also going to be loud for Herbert.
It's going to be loud, yes, and it'll be consistent, I guess, in that regard. And that's what kind of makes this interesting, is that Andy Reid in his career has actually been pretty good in season openers, as they are kind of around the corner from this, what are we, 30 hours away or whatever, 31 hours away from the Chiefs actually kicking off their NFL season. Obviously, the NFL starts tonight. I did see that stat. Somebody was trying to make a thing about that, because I think that this game tells you, you can't decide your whole season based off this game, but knowing how they've controlled the Chargers, knowing that they're without Slater, neutral site. So you're not like, and I think neutral site's better for the Chargers than it is being at home even.
Yes.
Based on the way that Kansas City has traveled to those games. I saw the stat that said Jim Harbaugh's 5-0 in NFL season openers. And I was trying to decide if I thought that meant something to me, other than the fact that without looking at every single start he's made in those NFL games, are they better? I think it stands to that Harbaugh's made every team he's coached for better. When he showed up in San Francisco, he made him better. When he showed up in L.A., he made him better.
Yeah, he's a very good coach.
But he also, I don't think that means the Chiefs are losing this game because he's good in openers.
Look, you can find, as you and I both know, you can find trends all over the place. In week one, it's like, how much do you lean into trends or not? You're right. I mean, Harbaugh is 5-0 straight up. He's 5-0 against the spread even in week one. Andy Reid, though, as the Chiefs head coach, is 8-4 against the spread in week one and season openers. He's 10-2 straight up in season openers. So, and one of the losses
the Chiefs,
was
he had to do those.
And one of them was the Lions a couple years ago, as far as one of the losses.
Without Chris Jones and without Travis Kelce.
The other, like, there's so many of them floating around, Cody. The other one that was floating around is, hey, teams that get blown out in the Super Bowl, how do they fare in week one the next year? One, I think this team is better positioned week one this year, but also who's the opponent, as you were saying. So 11 other teams lost by 14 or more in the Super Bowl the year prior. They went 4-7 in their week one opener. Outright.
I also, again, think that this speaks to the fact that the Chiefs are the exception to the rule, not the rule.
I agree.
Most of the teams who get blown out in the Super Bowl, you're not even unfair for saying they're going to be worse. They're going to fall off a little bit. They're not going to be the same quality of team. I point out that the Chiefs went 15-2 and did all those things with problems. This wasn't some dream scenario. Like, as much as like Drew and I or the other might go back and forth and be like, well, Cincinnati didn't have a defense or was missing these guys. Like, the Chiefs also had adversity. They did not, none of that slowed them down until it did in an absolute train wreck of a finish in that final game. They're better than the Chargers. The Chargers' biggest issue now is how do they survive a life in which they move their right tackle to left tackle, their right guard to right tackle, and figure out a way to like cover the guard mess too that people don't even want to talk about. Now that you're up to your backup guard, backup right tackle, and backup left tackle, essentially, because of the way you have to shift things around. They could still have massive issues in there. Look, Harbaugh's the kind of I feel like he's a little bit like Tomlin to me in the sense, and I know he won a college football national title, but as an NFL head coach, he is a great stabilizer. And if he's got good pieces and the right team at the right time, his teams can win Super Bowls because he's that kind of coach. But if like things start going wrong, he's just going to fall into the Tomlin vortex.
Well, the Harbaugh,
which is like 9 wins, 10 wins.
The
whatever.
Harbaugh track record, Jim Harbaugh, that is. The track record, though, is you're right. He's going to turn it around quick, and he was ahead of schedule last year with the Chargers. And the first 3 years usually are very good. It's year 5, year 4, where usually it turns into a mess, and then he just bails. That's usually what happens. Now, Michigan, he won a title. He bailed. It wasn't a mess because of winning. It was a mess because he was about to get suspended and a show cause penalty for cheating at Michigan. So that's my point is, and it's happened at other places in terms of he'll be there and the first few years are great. And then when it gets ugly then he bounces and leaves you with a mess. We're still in the period, though, where it's good. I think the Chargers will obviously be very competitive this year, and it's going to be a really competitive game tomorrow night. We'll give our official predictions tomorrow on the show when we're inside of 24 hours to the game and everything. And there's a lot of things that the Chiefs are going to have to do right to win. I mean, are the Chargers capable of winning? Of course, yeah, absolutely, they're capable of winning. I think the Chiefs, there's some advantages that they have in this game that I think they can exploit. Especially, you mentioned the offensive line. If this Chiefs defensive line is going to be able to get pressure on the quarterback,
this would feel like a good game to start.
This could be a good game to find out how good that's going to be. So, Harbaugh, though, the early, the trends about week 1, I don't know. You can put stock into it if you want. It's interesting. We mention it because it is something that's been floating around. I mean, Harbaugh wins in week 1 by an average of 8.3 points per game. But the Chargers aren't winning by 8 points in this game. Okay,
I didn't go through the 5 opponents though either. I don't know.
Were
they all just like
5?
Let me see.
Well, at least 3 of those were in the NFC West, so probably a joke of an opponent.
Last year, the first game was the Raiders.
Oh wow!
In 2023, the first game was the Dolphins. They lost that game.
Okay.
Hang on a second.
Wait, no, it says it's 5-0.
The stat is 5-0.
He wasn't a coach in 2023. You're going too far back. He's only been
remember,
a coach
he was
for 1
only
year.
in LA for one. He was at Michigan. You got to go all the way back to
to
his Niners.
San Francisco.
Back to his Niners.
2011, 12, and 13.
Okay.
Or 14, 13, 12, 11. Those are the years he was in San Francisco. Sorry.
All right, bear with me.
So you're going to have to go back a
To,
little ways.
to when? Again, I'm sorry. 2011, 12, and 13?
Yeah.
All right, in 2011, the first game of the season, they played the Seattle Seahawks, that was Russell Wilson, wasn't it?
Would have been still.
2012, they beat the Green Bay Packers.
That was Aaron Rodgers.
That'd have been a good team.
Next year, they beat the Green Bay Packers.
Obviously Rodgers. Yeah.
11, 12, and 13. So yeah, that's it.
There's your 5. There's your 5-0 in week 1.
Yeah, and some good teams to go with it.
If he coached in 14-2, they beat the Cowboys. That makes it 5.
Like the text line said, 18 from the 913, 18-0, book it. Here's the truth about where the Chiefs are.
The Chiefs?
I think it is for the teams or for the people who think that the Chiefs are having their downfall and that all this stuff, like you mentioned, getting blowouts is going to lead to losses. I still think it's a better chance the Chiefs go 18-0 than miss the playoffs.
Right.
From a team perspective. I think it's more likely they go undefeated in the regular season, 17-0, and then win all their other games, than
you think it's more likely they have an
miss the
undefeated season
playoffs.
and win the Super Bowl than miss the playoffs?
Yes.
Yeah. By the way, obviously they can't go in. Obviously,
because the only thing that would make them miss the playoffs, in my opinion,
That's
is
hard
a
to say.
major injury to the starting quarterback.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only scenario in which I'm going to say this team misses the playoffs. There is no other injury, no other circumstance.
If Mahomes plays 95% of the season, there's no way they're not making the playoffs. I mean, that's just that's.
It hasn't happened yet, so why should you believe it?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's that, but also just look at the team they have. Even you know what I mean? It's pretty simple. My favorite thing though is my favorite thing though for the game though. This is it sounds so simple. And you're like, well, duh, get a lead in a game and you're gonna win, right?
Oh yeah, who knew? Wait, for real?
But
that's good.
This stat when the Chiefs lead first in the first quarter, they're not first, but they have a lead at the end of the first quarter.
Okay.
They win 90% of the time since 2018, which is the best in football, including 29-0 in the last 3 years. So if they have the lead at the end of the first quarter, they're 29-0. It's a wrap. It's over.
Insane.
Drew will love this. The last loss after leading in the first quarter was
the
AFC title game in 2022.
Wow. That's the last time they lost.
Other than that, the Chiefs are 29-0 in the last 3 years. If they lead after the first quarter, wrap it up.
That's nuts.
That's why I think if they win the coin toss if they win the coin toss tomorrow, they should take the ball on offense and you should take a deep shot on the first play. Like come throw in the haymaker
They have to
right
lose
away.
the toss to take the ball first.
Yeah.
They always defer.
Oh, I'm saying Andy needs to take the ball. This is how we're coming. This is the energy that we are coming with in 2025. We are going
They'll take a shot. I mean, I don't know if it has to
come
happen on the first play, but they'll take a shot on the first drive.
We are going to come at you with the deep ball. We are going to come at you with everything, the kitchen sink. We are going to try to blow you out of every single game. It's not going to. We're not.
Do you think
we're not
first
relying on the defense.
play run or pass tomorrow night
Pass.
for the Chiefs?
It better be a pass. I'd be.
I know we all want it to. I know we want it to be a pass, but there's something that tells me it's going to be a run to Isaiah Pacheco, and he's going to pick up 6 yards on his first carry.
It's a pass, but that's essentially a run. It
It's
goes
just
like
a
2
quick,
yards.
like a quick bubble screen out to Worthy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pass, but it acts as a run. Goes for like 4 yards. That's my official prediction.
Throw everybody off. Brashard Smith's active. First play of the game. He's lined up in the slot.
Honestly, God, I'd love nothing more than a deep shot. It's like Worthy 60 yards down the field.
Why not?
And you can bet on it. I actually I think they're going to run on the first play.
It's going to be 2nd and 8 after the first play, and it's.
Why are you acting like Pacheco can only get 2 yards?
It's going.
He can get 3 or 4. He's not like a 10, 12 yard guy.
I'm very
if they run the ball, it'll be 2nd and 8.
Spoiler. I'm very bullish on Isaiah Pacheco tomorrow night. I was on with Bob and Dusty, and they were asking, like, guys, if you had to bet somebody to get 2 touchdowns in the game, other than Worthy, who is the favorite, I said I'd bet Pacheco. I actually think he's going to prove people he's fresh. We're going to hear from him maybe a little bit later on in the show, too. He was talking about being on a mission. Revenge tour, actually, is what he said.
All that. He said revenge tour. Revenge tour.
I love it. Up next, let's get to what's trending, and we get back into the Royals, who, boy, oh boy, had as disappointing of a night as maybe they've had all season. That's next.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Vinny Pasquantino, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Football is back tonight, and Underdog is the best place to select entries and win money all season long. And you can play right now on the Missouri side. So tonight, you're watching a little Philly, you're watching a little Dallas. You can make those selections playing over at Underdog on the Missouri side. All you have to do, whether your favorite players will go higher or lower than their stats, like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. I actually happen to like Barkley to go lower than his rushing yards for the game today, and that's a selection you can make right now over at Underdog. You can win up to 1,000 times your money. You can play with as little as $1. And like I said, it's an easy to download app that you should download now to see kind of where you're at, get a feel for the app before the action starts tonight on the football side. Underdog, make plays and win money. Download the app today with promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5 tonight. That's promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, over at Underdog. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets at underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concern with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.instabegambling.org.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down. 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we are improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com, and I look forward to working with you.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-224-5353. That's 800-224-5353. Again, that's 800-224-5353.
Kids are back in school, so schedule your project today that was put on hold this summer. With Powell Exteriors KC Easy Financing, pay no interest until 2027. Whether a custom deck or patio to siding, windows or roofing, they do it all and are ready to do it for you. Take advantage of this fall weather and get some of these projects knocked out. Go to PowellExteriorsKC.com to schedule your free estimate today. It's the power of KC. Powell Exteriors KC, Kansas City's exterior expert.
FanDuel is making Week 1 even bigger with the chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets every game day. That's right, $2 million. Here's how. Opt in and place an anytime touchdown bet on any primetime Week 1 game, including tonight's matchup, using your Profit Boost token. And if that player scores either the first or the last touchdown of the game, then you're going to earn a share of $2 million in bonus bets. So that's the first and the last touchdown. It's just one more reason to bet the NFL with FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app and use my promo code KFNZ to download the app today and get started with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt in. Must apply Profit Boost hosting on select market. Prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who made the correct first or last touchdown pick. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Can help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Here is your Game of the Week, presented by Hyundai. Week 1 of professional football will kick off this week as we look forward to some fantastic matchups, including 7 division games across the league. However, the game that we're all looking forward to is when Baltimore will head north to face off against the reigning MVP and his squad in Buffalo. A lot of comparisons surround the two quarterbacks for the MVP last season, but now they get a chance to set the record straight in a huge Week 1 matchup. Who will get their team off on the right foot? What is it that makes the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid an incredible SUV? Is it the spacious interior that's comfy for the whole crew? Or the capability to go off-road? Maybe it's up to 600 plus miles of range. What if it's all that and more? What is it then? The all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. Is it the driver behind the wheel? No. Are you sure? The new all Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. So much more than just another SUV. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
Ready to kick off the fun? Chumba Casino is your go-to game plan during halftime or overtime. From spinning slots to instant scratch-style cards, it's like running the perfect play, all from home. New players score a free welcome bonus and daily logins with a shot at some serious prizes every time you play. Get in the game and visit ChumbaCasino.com today. Let's Chumba. Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji Antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji Antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
Listen to the Chiefs and Chargers on Friday night with pregame starting at 4. Kickoff at 7 with Mitch, Danan, and Kling. Right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. KFNC FM and AM. HD1 and HD2 Kansas City. An Odyssey Sports Station. What's trending?
Number 1 on what's trending, the NFL season begins tonight in Philadelphia. NFL kickoff. It's the Eagles, Cowboys, 7:20, I believe. First I'm in
You're
baseball,
in baseball mode, man.
I've said first pitch about 80 times or
7:20 kickoff.
140 times, I guess it is at this point in time when we've been doing these. But it's kickoff. Yes, we are talking about the NFL.
To slide in. Well, you know, Mike.
We'll get that as a drop too. Thank
you.
you.
I'm sick and tired of the here we go. I mean, nothing screams NFL than
this guy.
Here we go.
This guy. Oh, from Dak.
Yeah.
I'm excited for tonight, and we mentioned earlier. I actually think the Cowboys covered tonight. They're 8.5-point dogs. I think they cover against the Eagles. All the talk about the Cowboys being terrible. You watch them cover. It's all the hoopla of opening night and everything. Yeah, I'm excited for the game tonight, but I won't watch until after 7. I don't need to sit there for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage.
I'll wait till the game starts, and then I'll have NFL on the TV tonight. Along with the Royals, that's next up on What's Trending. They try to avoid the sweep tonight. Noah Cameron will be on the mound for them. Seth Lugo pushed back due to some lower back tightness, according to the Royals. They've obviously lost the first 2 games of this series. Heartbreaking one yesterday. We'll talk about it again here in a few minutes. Easily, just an impossibly frustrating loss. The second you saw that Tampa Bay was up 8-0 on Seattle, and that the Rangers had already lost earlier in a day game, you're like, okay, win. Only a game and a half back even with the Rangers. Let's do it. And then got an early lead, blew it, the whole thing. We'll talk about it here in a few minutes.
First pitch of that one is at 6:40, right?
Be right here on your home for Royals baseball.
Vern's on deck
96.5
show.
The Fan, just like the Chiefs will be on 96.5 The Fan tomorrow night.
Yeah, Vern's on deck show is at 5:30. Elsewhere, the Broncos in the AFC West have given Nick Bonito a new contract extension worth up to $120 million. One of the better pass rushers in football, obviously a key piece to the Broncos defense that was very, very good last year. And a lot of people think they could be the best defense in all of football. They're going to need it to be very good again if they are to get to the heights a lot of people are predicting them to get to in 2025.
Very similar career trajectory to that of George Karlaftis, who also got paid this offseason. Bonito only had 1.5 sacks his rookie year. Karlaftis had 6. But then, each of the last 2 years, he went from 8 to 13.5. Karlaftis 10.5 and 8. They have a very similar number of total sacks in 3 seasons. Last year's season from Nick Bonito is what I want to see George Karlaftis put on paper this year. That's the kind of season I want him to have so that the Chiefs defense can take a leap forward.
That is what's trending.
Don't forget, as we're a day behind due to the weirdness of the schedule, Wednesdays is our lunch partner of Cody and Gold for Jefferson's. Jefferson, a new happy hour that is here to save you money. Doesn't matter if it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 7 days a week. Enjoy half off appetizers and half off your bar tab at Jefferson's Lenexa and Jefferson's North Kansas City. You heard that right. Half off your bar tab at both locations during happy hour. Not to mention Monday is all day happy hour. And they have the same great deals during the reverse happy hour 7 days a week.
Coming up in about 20 minutes, Paul Charchian of GuillotineLeagues.com is going to join us. How are you setting your lineup tonight? How are you setting your lineup the rest of the weekend? Your drafts are probably all done. It's go time, so we'll talk a little fantasy football with Charch here in just a bit. You mentioned the Royals during What's Trending. Last night was such a devastating blow
it hurt.
to not only just the standings, for obvious reasons we'll get into with what happened with everybody else losing and how you could have made up ground, but the way it went down, too. Look, Bobby Wood Jr., very realistically tonight, is going to be the reason they win. I understand that.
He's the reason they win a lot of baseball games.
And he's a superstar. He's the reason why they won on over the weekend, Saturday night, when they won on Saturday night. So we all know who he is as a type of player. But last night, a lot of that was on him. It's unfortunate when you're in a spot like this and your superstar was off. I mean, it was a bad day at the office. It happens, but these are crucial games. Everything's magnified. That's the play he has to make. Just plain and simple, has to make it. You know, that's why I'm not as critical of the decision to, the
bring in Schreiber, leave Bergert early.
If, Bobby makes the play for Urseg, then it's not a problem, right? That's the kind of stuff that has happened far too often this season. And this offense is now back in its funk, and Bobby and Vinny, both two key pieces that why they got back in this race really are kind of colder. Vinny's 1 for 31, as hot as he was. And it's happening at the wrong time. This is the margin for error is so slim. And then you have to now worry about some other teams that are also part of the picture. But when you have a homestand where you're 1-4 and you've scored 10 runs, Cody.
Look, I'm not going to declare them dead. They're not. They're still 2.5 games back with 23 games to go. They're not out. It's not over for the Royals yet. Same thing applied a week ago. If you made me bet right now if they make the playoffs, obviously I would bet no, they don't. That's not discounting what they've done this year or that I think you should not enjoy watching meaningful baseball on September 4th. Look, maybe it's a loser's mentality because I spent, of the 41 years I've been alive on this earth, the Royals have won back-to-back winning seasons like once. 14 and 15 might legitimately be the only back-to-back winning seasons I've ever witnessed. 13 and 14, 14 and 15, like that stretch might be the only one I see. So I'll take winning baseball, meaningful baseball in September. I'm still locked in. Tonight, when I put on football, when I put on Eagles-Cowboys, I will also have the Royals game on because I want to see what happens. I want to see what they do. I will have both things on. I'm locked in. But last night's game felt like you kicked me in the face. I was so mad after they got up 8-0 on, like I said, the Mariners were down 8-0, and you're like, this is a moment. This felt like a moment in the season. And they weren't looking at the scoreboard necessarily, but Rangers had lost. You could have been a game and a half back with 23 to play. And the team you play, you see at Kauffman Stadium in 2 weeks. So you could have just maintained that level and gotten that one last night. And last night, more than, if you want to put it on Q, who made, I think people were mad about the bullpen decisions. I would just say I think the bullpen's overworked is a bigger part of the problem, but fine. Or pinch hitting Nick Lofton or any of the issues you might have taken place from a managerial standpoint. The single biggest issues you pointed out last night is that your superstar was bad. Not that he had a bad game, and he is a great player. He's one of the best players in the entire in all of baseball.
Absolutely.
And he'd tell you he had a bad game and he cost you a baseball game. That's the most important thing. The biggest reason why they lost the game.
Yeah, that's the headline. I mean, that's the unfortunate headline. And as I said, like what's tricky too. First and foremost, none of the standings are going to matter if the offense doesn't snap out of this quickly because, as I said, they've scored 10 runs in 5 games. But
and that's why they're 1-4 in the homestand.
It turns out it's hard to win when you're not scoring runs. But look, the standings got complicated now too. Yes, the Mariners keep losing. So are you. That's allowed the Rangers to jump you. It's allowed the Rays to now be tied with you. Heck, the Guardians are only a half game behind you. So you've got
you open the door for everybody's in it.
The Rays and Guardians are playing each other, so I guess they both can't. But essentially, you're another loss or so away from falling behind 4 teams.
And then think about how many teams you're going to need to lose on a given night while you win.
It is a must-win tonight against the Angels to avoid the sweep. I heard on the broadcast last night, I think the Angels have not won a series post-All-Star break.
Ugh.
A road series. I think it's a road series. But still, that's what they're fighting to do.
Well, they already did that.
The Angels, the Angels have a chance to only be like 5 out of nowhere if they win tonight. Like suddenly they're even on a heater getting it. It's just the timing of it is poor because you really could be tied right now for the final playoff spot, but your offense is falling apart again.
I think what's frustrating about it is the teams ahead of you. The Mariners have a weaker schedule than you, but you play them. So, like, you can control your own fate. Everyone else has a harder path. They just do. The Rangers still have 6 against the Astros. They have the Mets, the Brewers, and the Guardians on their schedule. Even the teams you mentioned, like Tampa Bay, they got 7 against the Blue Jays left. And the Cubs, Boston, and Cleveland. They've got a tough stretch of games, and I would say Kansas City doesn't because their upcoming stretches, Philly and Seattle and the Blue Jays, and certainly they got no easy path either. But based on the bad teams they're supposed to have in their schedule, including what was supposed to be a bad Angels team, a team they got 4 games left against in the rest of the season, you let Adele beat you both times. And look, I think that's part of the reason they went away from Bergert last night. I don't know. What percentage chance, like they're probably like a 5-10% chance like they were before to make the postseason. But it's just like every day they don't. Like last night, this is the part that sucks about that game. Last night, I think if they win that game, we come in here and we are like, ooh, man, things are cooking. We got a little something brewing here. Only a game and a half back, got the win, won when everyone lost. I think the city's more bought in. I don't think we're getting we've gotten 4,700 texts today from people saying, the Royals are cooked, football is back. Like, they're ready to just call it. They're ready to throw in the towel. The team's not doing that. I don't think it's that. But, like, they're ready to just move on and see what the Chiefs have for you this year. I think if they win that game just one game different, Gold. And the energy today is significantly different.
Yeah, the vibes change in a hurry. Yeah, the vibes can change in a hurry, and you just continue to put more pressure on yourself because, yes, while you don't lose any ground, you have to make up ground though, and you have less games to do it now each and every day. I mean, it's pretty simple to figure that part out. So that's what's so tough. Now, as I said, like it would not shock any of us though if Bobby's the reason why they win tonight. As bad as last night was, tonight He comes up with 3 hits, makes a great defensive play, and they win. Like we've seen that happen time and time again. Far more than what happened last night. But yeah, I think, look, I'm sure he's very well aware of last night being on him, most importantly. And they got to figure this thing out quickly, though. As far as the pinch hit stuff with Q and everything. Look, I will say this. You and I have said, we would have Nick Lofton play less. Okay. But in that spot, in defensive Q, I will say, all right, you pinch hit Nick Lofton. All right? Everybody's saying it was a terrible decision. You know what happened in that at-bat, though?
He looked at
two pitches, very hittable pitches, that he just looked at. So the player has to execute, too. Every decision doesn't work out, for sure. But you know what? I know...
I expect a major league hitter not to watch 2 fastballs go right down the middle.
When Q puts you in that spot, you're not expecting Nick Lofton to, just stare at 2 fastballs down the middle of the plate.
I do think... just as long as they can, same thing applies, which is weird enough. Go if they keep it within like this couple of games, it might still just come down to the Seattle series. Like it might still just boil down to that. Look, there's other teams who can enter the mix, but it might just come down to, can you beat Seattle in a series coming up in a couple of weeks? It's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with a day game right in the middle. That day game, boy, that could be a fun one if they won the first 2 games. Woo!
We'll see.
On a Thursday.
We'll see. Yeah, it's all about the Mariners series, and can you stay in this range until then?
Oh man, I will say the offense looks like the pre-All-Star game offense right now, and it's not fun. Watching them, the only 2 runs they got last night, 2 of the 3 runs they got because of an error. I mean, they were gifted those.
Yeah,
runs.
went off the helmet of Isbell, right?
Yeah, they got gifted those. They had 1 hit when they were up 2-0. That's why it's like, boy, you better pitch sharp tonight. Schreiber didn't have it.
Coming up in about 15 minutes, Paul Charch and GuillotineLeagues.com going to join us. We'll talk about Week 1 fantasy football, maybe the player who went undrafted in your league that you could go rush out and still get. How do you handle the rookies this year? How do you handle the Chiefs situation, in particular with their wide receivers in your fantasy league? We're getting into all that with Paul Charchian. But I know we gave our 7 playoff teams on the AFC side, 7 on the NFC side. One final division that... I don't think we have talked about. I'm looking at the sheet. I think this is
I don't think we've talked about that.
And that's the AFC East.
Yeah, we haven't done them yet.
The Buffalo Bills we're all picking, right, to win this division. I don't think there's...
After not much thought, yes.
Okay.
Bills.
The question is, are they getting...
in the playoffs earlier. We talked about this earlier.
The question is, are they getting 2 playoff teams? And I don't think so. You do have the Patriots as the 7 seed in the AFC. I do not. I have the...
Steelers, right?
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
That bad man.
Aaron Rodgers is going to go in New York.
He is probably going to pick on the Jets on Sunday.
And he's going to torment Jet fans and look better than he has in 3 years.
I will say, if he doesn't do that, then he's definitely done. He's cooked.
If they lose to the Jets, man.
I think the Steelers are 2.5 point favorites.
It's time.
But no, look, the Patriots, let's talk about them more because the Bills are going to win the AFC East. I think we all know that. The question is there another team that can push for a playoff spot? You think it's Patriots, which I thought was interesting because a week ago you were saying you don't get all the hype for them.
I said, I don't understand. Like, my issue with the Patriots more is, do I think Drake May is good? So what I tried to do after having that comment is like, look back and try to get a sense of it. I think Drake May might end up being what we talk about being a lot of the other quarterbacks in the league, which is 12th, 13th, 14th best, the kind of category we put guys like Jordan Love in. And when you've got a quarterback like that with a at least legitimately decent head coach, and Vrabel has gotten to the playoffs with guys like Ryan Tannehill time and time again, I just thought I like their coaching situation and I like their roster better than the other 2 guys in the division. And I think there's wins to be had against the Dolphins and the Jets and the other ones. So when I was going through the 7-seeded teams, I thought that they could manage to get it done there. I do think that there's a little something going on there. Although I will say, still major questions about their weapons. I don't think I like going into the year 2025 with Stephon Diggs as my 1.
No, but they might
have that I don't love.
They might have a dark horse rookie of the year candidate in Travion Henderson, though. Right? That's the question for them. I actually part of me, as much as everybody's down on Mike McDaniel, and I do think the Dolphins have the same track record of starting off hot and then fading quick.
If there was a team to make it, you'd give it to them?
I almost flipped it to where I had the Dolphins finishing second in the division still.
I think Justin Fields is going to end up being a career backup after this season, unfortunately.
Well, he's
getting put in another tough
answer,
spot.
Yeah.
No, he's not, but he's getting put in enough. Like, at first, it kind of looked like maybe it was going to be a okay spot for him to make a start, and then everyone got hurt. They just lost another guard. They got no weapon. Like, I mean, I just like,
Yeah, it's weird because with the Jets, it's like last year in a way where you look on paper, it's like, man, this team could be, is a little salty, but then it's like, well, they have the quarterback question, and that's Justin Fields. And then you look at, the division they play in is relatively easy, but we don't know anything about Aaron Glenn. If he's a great coach, then maybe all of a sudden the Jets are a team to actually consider to take seriously. But I am just like you guys. It's Bills, Patriots, Dolphins, and then Jets.
Do you think Aaron Glenn do you think that'll work?
I like Aaron Glenn. I hope it does.
Yeah, I'm glad he got his opportunity. It's just, until you have a quarterback, it's very tough to win in the NFL. And so I don't think he has his quarterback yet. How long of a leash should they give him? They should give him some time. I do think he's going to be a good head coach in terms of making it to where they're a franchise that's not dealing with some of the headaches they dealt with under Robert Saleh. Now, in fairness to even Saleh, Aaron Rodgers did not make life easy in that building, and they let him run the show. That's what I like about Aaron Glenn. He basically is set the tone right away. I'm in charge. Like, I'm the captain now kind of thing.
And with Justin Fields, that's a lot easier.
It is really interesting that the Jets did decide to go to another defensive-minded, defensive-experienced head coach and didn't go offense.
You know what, though, it is? It's like if you hate Aaron Glenn and then you draft a quarterback, you can can him and get the offensive guy. My issue is that the way...
coach the game yet.
Cody's pre-firing him.
I like Aaron Glenn as a fit. I'm just saying, like, I'll just tell you right now, that's better than the alternative, which is teams consistently doing. I swear, so help me.
Like
if you had another team, if they have Aaron Glenn, he goes 2-15, they stink, they draft number 1, they take a quarterback, and then they let Aaron Glenn screw up the number 1 overall pick just enough to fire him to hire an offensive guy. That's a horrible plan.
Yeah.
That's an awful plan, and teams consistently have been doing that for the last 3 years in a row, and I genuinely do not understand it. I do not understand how that became a trend in the NFL. What if we let our bad head coach, who we don't really like, do it for one more year with our young quarterback, bomb it, then go get a guy, and then force our offensive guy to learn a new system? It's a bad way of operating.
Earlier in the show, Will, we found out the coach that you really do like.
You're a Big Johnson guy.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
You're a Big Johnson guy. You didn't have Ben Johnson in the you got the Bears in the playoffs? You're buying in?
Buying in. Oh, I'm all in on the Bears this year. As a wild card team. Not to win the division. As a wild card team.
Somebody says there's Travion Henderson running back 3 in New England.
He's not the starter heading into week 1.
He's
by the end of the
time with Ramondre Stevenson.
Correct. Yep. I think by the end of the year, there's a chance Henderson's the guy.
If there's a job that you can supplant the person in charge pretty quickly,
we've seen it play out in the recent history here with Clyde and Pacheco.
It happens immediately. In running back, it's just like, oh, that guy's way better? Okay.
Also, one injury, I mean, I don't want Stevenson to get hurt, but if he gets hurt, it's over. It's Henderson. It's
like,
where did Kyle Williams get drafted?
3rd round, I believe.
3rd round? All right. I don't know, man. I'm never banking on 3rd round wide receivers being the difference for a second-year quarterback.
Who else do they have? Is it Kyle Williams, Diggs, and then who else do they have? They have
Keyshawn Booty or whatever his name is from LSU.
Yeah. Yep.
Didn't they take him? Was that this year?
2 years ago, I think.
2 years ago?
Yeah, it was a couple years ago. And they have Hunter Henry still as tight end, right? I think.
Yes, he is a tight end there.
It's not.
It's not a great.
It's not a great
room
list.
of weapons. No,
it's not a great list. But
Jalen Polk.
But Vrabel does kind of like
too.
Playing that way a little bit, right?
It does fit a Vrabel Titans
17,
like offense.
14, just go.
Other than in fairness,
win.
AJ Brown is better than current Stephon Diggs.
Yes.
Yeah. That version.
Nobody. I don't think.
And he didn't have Derrick Henry either. But yeah. Anyways.
Like, I'm just going back to, like, when I watched Mike Vrabel coach, I thought he did better with what he had than I would expect.
Yeah, Tennessee made a mistake. They should never have fired him.
Yeah, they were the 1 seed. What was it? It's in 23, or 21, which is crazy.
But Tennessee's a mess. They've had 2 or 3 GMs and two head coaches in the last 3 years. It's something like that. Obviously, now they're hoping that Mike Morganzi, former chief front office guy, is now their GM. But Bill Callahan, or Brian Bill is his dad. His dad was on staff last year. I don't know if he still is. His dad was
I don't know.
Offensive line coach.
My biggest issue with them is that they hired Josh McDaniel to be the coach, the offensive coordinator. Insane hire.
Cody didn't like that.
I remember that was
insane hire. Bring back Patricia. Let's get the pencil behind here.
I don't think it's insane.
Bring the old man back together.
I don't think it's an insane hire, but
I wonder if Patricia's still doing the pencil thing at Ohio State.
He is.
Is he?
Yeah. Somebody pointed out this week. He's sticking with it, man.
Old habits never die.
He's sticking with it.
All right, up next, let's talk a little fantasy football. Every Thursday at 12:30, Paul Charch is going to join us from GuillotineLeagues.com. Help us with some lineups. It's week 1. You want to get off to a good start in your fantasy football season. Let's figure it out together. Next.
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? It's Chris Jones. You're listening to Cody and Gold. Weekdays 10 to 2 on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
Man, if your stream isn't as strong as it used to be, or you're taking more breaks to the bathroom than the last 2 minutes of a televised football game,
there's another timeout. We'll be back after this.
it's time to get checked. An enlarged prostate, or BPH, could be the cause. And Kansas City Urology Care is here to help. Fast answers, trusted care. Don't wait. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. Visit kcuc.com today. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
Men, summertime is here. And that means vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be. And if what I'm describing is you, it's very likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Heartland Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes your life. If you're like most men, you'll feel so much better. Deeper sleep, improved vitality and clarity, greater strength and energy, and an enhanced sex drive as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Looking to drive your finances downfield? Main Street Credit Union is the hometown team you can trust. We help you build credit, lower monthly expenses, and finance with confidence. Or if you need a loan to grow your small business, we've got flexible options and no hidden fees. At Main Street, it's not just about the win, it's about keeping Kansas City moving forward. One goal, 1 yard, 1 member at a time. Get in the game at mainstreetcu.org.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things. Like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Presenting a Gain Flings love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text BEACH to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful Fed incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text BEACH to 42424. That's BEACH to 42424.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Sports brought to you by the Salvation Army and registertoring.com.
Make it a tradition. Grab your friends or family and ring bells together for the Salvation Army. Just 2 hours can change lives this holiday season. Sign up today at registertoring.com. That's registertoring.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
'90s theme from Drew here as we come back in the noon hour. Hope everybody's having a good day. NFL football back tonight. In just a few minutes, we're going to talk with Paul Charch and over at Guillotine Leagues. Get your lineup set for Cowboys, Eagles, obviously, the rest of the weekend. All the fantasy football drafts are done. You and I were talking. Do we think there's somebody out there that's like going to draft up until
sick league?
Like draft up until kickoff tonight? Well, there'll be people that draft this weekend. They'll just ignore the opening night.
Didn't you have a draft last night? Your final one?
Yep, last one. This was my family league that we've been doing with some family and friends. I've been doing it since I was probably in 6th grade, 7th grade. So we got a group of lifelong friends, and then also we've added some new family members along the way, obviously.
Kind of have to. Yeah. That's the way it works.
Yeah. It'll expand. Like, we're probably 2 years away from my oldest nephew having his own team. He wants a team. I said another 2 years. He'll be old enough at that point. We'll be good to go. I think he's got to wait another 2 years, and then we'll all of a sudden start having the nephews in the league as well.
How old is he?
He turns 10 in October.
Oh, 10, I'd let him in. Whatever. I think it
that's
was
what I'm saying. So next year he'll be 10 at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, sure.
So I think when he's in 6th or 7th grade. Well, that's Charch, by the way. Maybe Charch knows if you're in a league what the age limit should be or everything like that. Paul Charch of Guillotine Leagues joins us each and every Thursday. Presented by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views. I was just saying how I had my longtime friend and family league last night, and as time goes on, we add new people. And I said my nephew still does a team with his dad, or one of my nephews, and I said he's like a year or two away from being like allowed to have his.
Just let him in.
And I said he has to wait another year or two. I want to wait till he's knowing everything that goes on, and because other people in the league are not going to want a bunch of kids in the league if they don't know what they're doing. That's all.
Yeah, okay. I'm so glad you brought this up. This is one of my biggest pet peeves in fantasy football. If you've got a family league that's parents and kids, great. No problem. We love kids who play. We think it's bonding. It's fantastic. But when you've got a league that's been around for years, and it started in your frat house, right, and everybody's aged up, and then they've started having kids, and then those kids are old enough to start playing, and then there's always one person in the league who starts bringing their kid into like the draft day experience and into the chat room and everything else, and it totally throws off the vibe, right? We've been making dirty jokes and we've been, needling each other and we've been doing all this stuff. And now the vibe is crushed because some selfish jerk decided he wanted to make it a family experience for himself. That you can't do that. Don't be that guy. Only bring your kids when the league has consented to change the vibe of the league to be a family league. Because the rest of the time, I want to be able to swear and make all the dumb, bad jokes that I want to make all year. And I don't want to have to worry that you've got a 13-year-old kid that's in the middle.
Yeah, that we draft online and stuff like that. That's not even for this one. That won't be the problem. It's more like, hey, I just want to make sure like there are friends, there are family in the league. I want him to be able to run his own team. I don't want his dad having his team, and then he has to help his son constantly with his team.
I think it depends on the kid, Charch. Right. Like, I used to play hearts with my grandpa's friend, or my great uncle's friends in the back room while they're all smoking cigars. Like, why can't, like, if I'm fine to be a part of the group, then let me be in.
No, that's not. If you're 13, 14-year-old kid, everybody else feels like they got to self-censor. You don't know when you were playing hearts with Grandpa. You don't know what kind of dirty stuff they would have talked about.
Well,
you know,
I
and
don't
you
feel like
don't
there was
know,
much of a
frankly,
filter,
right?
That's probably true.
You don't know what the conversations that didn't happen because you were there.
Busting up the game at least a little bit.
Charch, it is week 1. We'll get to tonight's game in a second, but maybe someone's still trying to figure out, did they miss on somebody in the draft? Is there somebody out? Is there anybody maybe floating around the free agency or waiver wire still?
There is. There's always going to turn out to have been somebody that you should have drafted. And I think the guy in most leagues that's got a chance to be the hottest pickup after week 1. So, on Tuesday, who's everybody going to be trying to get that they should have drafted? And if I had to put one name on it right now, it would be Washington running back Chris Rodriguez. Now, the other Washington running back, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, moved up 100 spots in draft position from August 1st to September 1st. 100 spots. But I don't know that he's going to be the starter, or even if he's the best back on that team. He's a 7th rounder for a reason, was not hyper productive in college, and Chris Rodriguez knows the system. He's the veteran. And I'm going to give you this Chris Rodriguez stat. You can tell me if you think it's valid, because it's only 35 rushes, because he only had 35 rushes last year. Among players with 35 rushes last year, Chris Rodriguez had the number 1 broken tackle rate in the NFL. He's a big bully kid. I think he's got a chance to be the goal line back for a very good Washington offense, and maybe even the primary ball carrier with Austin Eckler still as a third down, more pass catching guy.
Charch, historically, how have you handled rookies with expectations? Let's say Egbuka, or in my case, I bought in and I drafted Matthew Golden a couple of times. Is that just an immediate start, even though he's a rookie? How do you handle the guys that you just have no idea how they're actually going to perform?
It's on an individual basis. Both of those guys walk into A-plus opportunities, in part because of injuries to other players on their team. For Matthew Golden, you've got Jaden Reed with a Jones fracture in his foot that he decided not to get surgery on. Dumbass. And Christian Watson's out. So Golden's going to walk right into that starting opening day spot. Egbuka, same thing. Jalen McMillan out. Chris Godwin out. Walks into the opening day spot. Even in guillotine, where you have to be so careful with rookies who need time to become consistent, even in guillotine leagues, those guys are startable. And potentially in standard leagues, those guys could be league winners. They've got 1,000-yard, 10-touchdown upside that you're able to get at a big discount. So I love both those guys, and I've got them in a bunch of leagues.
We're talking to Paul Charch of GuillotineLeagues.com. He joins us each and every Thursday during the football season to get you set for fantasy football. Now, people will hear, hey, this guy's a top 10 fantasy quarterback this year. But that doesn't always mean that you start him every week, right?
No. I mean, I can't tell you how many people make this mistake. They set their week 1 roster based on the order they drafted the players. And I understand that mostly that order is correct, but not always. And I'll give you an example of a quarterback that went in the top 12. And so, should be a starting quarterback and would be in most leagues. But I don't think you want to start this week in particular. And that is Justin Fields, now the Jets starter. By the way, if they're playing Pittsburgh, it's already a revenge game. It's week 1 revenge game for these teams. And that's part of my hesitation. Fields is going up against a Pittsburgh coaching staff that knows all of his defects, of which there are many. And they know how to stop Justin Fields. And the Jets just lost their starting guard and the best person on their offensive line, Elijah Vera-Tucker, first-round talent, out. And here comes the Steelers pass rush, Cam Hayward, TJ Watt. This seems like a bad combo for Justin Fields. And I'll add this too. Steelers allowed the 4th fewest quarterback rushing yards last year. So I don't even know if Justin Fields is going to be able to save you with his legs.
On the NFC side, J.J. McCarthy, I guess from his perspective, where do you think he is in his first NFL start? And how does this impact your feelings on Addison down the road after he comes back from the suspension? But Justin Jefferson, or even the running backs, Mason, whoever, how do you handle the fantasy production you got out of the guys last year versus, I guess, what do you think J.J. McCarthy is? You're in Minnesota for a long time. Obviously, I think you're in Salt Lake now, but You were in Minnesota for a long time. What's the feeling on JJ?
Well, St. George, which is 3.5 hours south, they're actually closer to Vegas. It's a very diverse.
That's a strategic location, I think, for you.
Very close to Vegas seems like not an accident.
It is. I love 2 hours from Vegas is a pretty good life, and then you don't have to deal with Vegas. So 2 things. One, Jordan Addison is turning into an awesome receiver. It started second half of last year, carried into training camp, where he was fantastic. And now he's got this suspension. If right now it's pennies on the dollar to trade for Addison, and when he comes back, you'll be then starting the 4th game for J.J. McCarthy. He's going to be better then than he is now. This is a great buy low opportunity on Addison, who is, he's absolutely an ascending player. As for McCarthy, and the Vikings play Monday night against Chicago, this is going to be a not so great, this game in particular will not be a great opportunity to start him. I've got J.J. McCarthy way down at 26th among quarterbacks this week, in part because it's his first ever start. He's the NFL's youngest quarterback, 22 years old. Nationally televised game, which granted he had huge moments at Michigan, and so maybe the moment won't be too big for him. You've got all the issues with the Vikings receivers that we just mentioned. Addison's suspension. They just traded back to get Adam Thielen. Justin Jefferson missed the entire month of August with a hamstring, and then Chicago gave up the fewest passing touchdowns last year. So I just don't think they're going to pass very much at all. They're going to run against a bad Bears run defense, and we're not going to get a lot of fantasy productivity out of McCarthy, I fear.
Charch tonight kicks this whole thing off. Cowboys, Eagles.
Yeah.
I was telling Cody earlier, I like the Cowboys plus 8.5 points. I don't know how you feel the game could go. I think the Cowboys offensively are going to be able to move the football here, and people forget that Dak, when he's been healthy, is actually pretty darn good. Fantasy-wise, how do you see this playing out? Who's startable tonight?
All the Eagles. I mean, and that's one of the great things about the Eagles. They have no fringe guys because, they've got guys who are great, like the receivers and Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. And then they've got nobodies that you don't ever care about, like Jahan Dotson. You don't have to think about starting those guys. So you start every Eagle you would possibly consider starting anyway. Cowboys side is quite a bit trickier. If you think Dallas is going to trail throughout, I do. It sounds like you're a little more optimistic, Alex. But the Eagles, then you're going to get a ton of passing. The Eagles saw 33 passes a game against them last year, and I think we're at least that number here. And when Dak throws at least 33 times in a game, he averages 281 yards and 2 touchdowns per game. I mean, those are really good numbers, and I think Dak could settle into that. There is, as good as that Eagles roster is, and it's awesome, their second cornerback spot is a total mystery right now. They're starting at Dory Jackson, who they beat up when he was with the Giants for years. So that might be a spot for CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, who remain startable here in that passing game. I think is going to have tons of opportunity.
One more matchup I want to ask about, because a lot of people in the text line are asking about it just the same.
Yeah.
RJ Harvey, J.K. Dobbins. I think the first half of the season, J.K. Dobbins is the play, but that's until he gets hurt, and then maybe it's R.J. Harvey. Where are you on those two guys?
Cody, exactly the same. R.J. Harvey's the more talented guy, but what Dobbins does is not just like the intangible, savvy veteran leadership, blah, 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 but also stuff like elite pass protector. And those things go a long way with coaches. Even so, Sean Payton's your head coach in Denver. Alvin Kamara, who is on a Hall of Fame trajectory for his career, didn't have more than 7 carries for Sean Payton in Alvin Kamara's rookie year until week 7. It's just, most coaches are very, very cautious about putting rookie running backs into big spots. And even with the delta in talent, I think it's still going to be, just like you said, I think it's going to be Dobbins early. They'll work in Harvey, and in time, the better back will end up emerging.
Last one for you. What about Chiefs Chargers tomorrow night in Brazil? A lot of talk about the field conditions, the travel, and all that. How, if at all, does that impact your thought on who to start?
Field conditions don't worry me too much, as maybe they should more. You'll remember Jordan Love basically almost cost him a season. The groin injury that he suffered in week 1, and then it nagged him all year. It was never the right quarterback after that. And I do worry a little bit about it, but I can't go change my projections just because of that. I think my biggest worry, Travis Kelce is, obviously he's now engaged, and he acknowledged that last year he was distracted by everything with Taylor Swift. Now that he's engaged, he's that much closer to consummating the relationship. And I'm worried that that's going to be very distracting for Travis.
Paul Charchian, GuillotineLeagues.com. I appreciate it, man. We will check in next week. Good luck in week 1. I'm going to ignore the Kelce stuff. I'm going to move on. I disagree. But we appreciate you coming on the show. It was time to end our conversation anyway.
I guess it was. I thought I landed that joke, but I guess I did not.
I was just trying to decide.
I offended your delicate sensibilities, Alex. I don't know.
The text line's going to be all after you now, just so you know. Check your mentions. Check your mentions.
You guys are the best.
Thank you, Charch. There you go. That's Paul Charch. And, of course, our conversations with him brought to you by Twin Peaks Eats, Drinks, Scenic Views. Drew would say fantastic. I will say Charch, though, he's been a bit of a Kelce hater the last couple years anyway.
Yes. I would point out that Kelce was still a top 5 fantasy tight end last year.
He was.
He wasn't up to his drafted position, but if it wasn't if it wasn't Kittle and a couple of other guys, there's no one who would have put you in a better spot fantasy tight end-wise than him, because there's a big drop-off after the first 5. There always has been.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce, even in his worst year, was still – there's a huge gap between his level of productivity and the productivity of pretty much anyone 6 through 15 in the NFL.
You picked him in the Guillotine League, right?
What?
Travis?
Yes.
I did.
Of course.
I took a lot of...
I have him in one league. I only have him in one league. I have Bowers in 2 of them.
Bowers in 2 leagues?
Yeah.
Must have taken him early or kept him.
That was not a shocker at all whatsoever, you taking Travis Kelce.
A lot of it is...
You had to have Travis on your roster, given how you've backed him up over the last 2 years.
Absolutely. And I haven't had him in every year. He was one of the most cut players on Guillotine fantasy leagues last year, because the first 5-6 weeks for Travis were nuts.
Yeah, it was
He's getting 20 yards and no touchdowns, and he was getting a lot of people wiped out thinking, well, this will be the week that eventually he puts those things together. And I think that that's probably what people were thinking, but I don't know. I buy into the he's healthy, feeling good. All those things are there and okay.
Random question.
The random question today brought to you by Kansas City Urology Care at KCUC. Remember, you see the best in KC. Visit kcurology.com today. For you, Gold. For you, Drew. Text line 913-586-7965. Always tell you, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook. Try to interact over there as much as we can on the live streams. We'll see, we'll get your answer to the random questions. Always a good spot to like and subscribe. Get to the top of the page over there on YouTube and on Twitch. Today, another 2 this week. Very uncommon for me. I had a different, but last night, something happened in a game that I feel like needs to be discussed, so it will become the random question today. Fair or foul? What happened last night in the Dodgers game? You might have missed it, everybody. Cam Devaney, the aforementioned name on this show as part of the Adam Frazier trade. I thought we were going to come in. I thought we were going to talk Cam Devaney today at the same day that Adam Frazier had a big hit for this team, but they still lost the game, unfortunately. So the Adam Frazier hit didn't count for as much, although it was a big hit for them on that end. Cam Devaney made his major league debut. He got his first.
Good for him.
He got his first career hit. Unfortunately, on camera, you can see the Dodgers pitcher get tossed a new ball because that's his first major league ball. No, he just tossed it in.
Sure.
You can see him then inspect the 2 baseballs and still throw back the one that they threw to him, thus holding on to Cam Devaney's first career hit ball. So he could throw it again.
Or did he just truly this is the ball I like?
Genuinely,
I think he tried to pass it as a mistake. But
I think after he tried to pass his mistake, it looked like he just tried to steal Cam Devaney's first. So fair or foul?
I don't think
same
he
thing
knew.
as Framber Valdez?
I don't think he knew.
Oh, you don't think?
I actually don't think he knew. I think he
knew so little of Cam Devaney he didn't even think about it?
I don't think he even knew in that spot. Although someone's got to be on his team's got to be usually the opponent's pretty good about making sure.
Everyone goes.
That's just what you do.
What do you think they're throwing you a ball for?
It's what you do.
I think it was on purpose.
I don't know. I mean, why would? I mean, who was the pitcher?
Oh, I got to look up his name.
He wasn't even a big name, right?
No.
So he should, out of all people.
Emmett Sheehan.
I don't know.
And I got to be honest, they throw it to him. They're not standing there. It got thrown from the dugout. Gold.
25-year-old
This isn't like
pitcher
back to
for
the catcher.
Dodgers.
He threw it to the dugout. This guy never made his major league debut. Then hot switched the ball, threw it over to the dugout. If you're throwing a ball away, you don't throw it to the catcher. You knew.
He made his debut
You knew.
2 years ago.
Yeah, and he's not going to let Cam Devaney have his moment. We don't know how many at-bats Cam Devaney's going to get in his career.
That's right. He got the L yesterday. 4 2/3, gave up 2 earned.
Oh, did he? Yeah. Nice. Did he admit to stealing the ball?
I have no idea. But congrats to Cam Devaney. Good for him. 28, got his big league debut.
You go back in time.
Should have kept him
Cam
in
Devaney.
Adam Frazier's been
Adam Frazier's
been very good for the Royals. What's that?
I said should have kept him in KC.
No.
Should have done it.
Adam Frazier's been very good for the Royals.
Yes, he has.
He claimed yesterday it was not intentional. He didn't realize that the ball was being called for, and he shared he would personally apologize to Cam Devaney.
Okay, well then it's over. All right, everybody can move on. We don't have to start a whole discourse about it for a whole week.
Cody.
No,
move on.
Yeah, okay. So so I just punch you in the face, Drew. I can just say I'm sorry. We're good. That's not Drew. This is the problem I have. Is that I think sometimes people just lie, and we don't have to just accept that they said they're sorry, and they didn't lie. I'd actually, if he said, I'm sorry, I did it, I don't know why I did it, I made this mistake. He said he didn't know that it was his first pitch. Under no other circumstance, in a Major League Baseball game, Drew, do you throw a ball towards the dugout, and does the dugout throw a ball towards you? That is only for milestone baseballs. Every other time you throw a baseball away, it is tossed to a different area of the field. The game was not stopped, but in a way in which someone got their major league hit. Everybody. And every player, this Bobby, remember when he went wind sprinting out for maybe Tyler Tolbert's first career, or whoever it was, right? He went a wind sprint out to the outfield. People know.
I think this goes back to your debut stuff with Carter Jensen. I think it all falls into the debut conversation.
I like people to have their moment, you know?
Yes.
You know how hard it is to become a major league hitter?
This is very interesting because I think this is the different baseball guy, and I think this goes with our conversations and how we talk about the Royals versus Chiefs or how you view it. I think so. You're very sentimental on the debut stuff.
I think you should get your first touchdown.
You're very sentimental on the debut stuff, but when the Chiefs put out highlights and cool video packages and stuff, you're I don't really care.
That, in fairness, that's not specific to baseball or football. I just nostalgia video clips don't do much for me, but actual major league debuts do. And it looked like the guy hot switched him.
But you don't admit that's a tradition you like, debut. And but you don't like Red Friday, you don't like these other traditions.
I'm not anti Red Friday, I just don't understand the rules.
There's
so many rules.
Yeah.
It's Red Friday every day.
Are you going to be wearing red tomorrow because they play?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I'm going to wear a hoodie.
It's going to be hoodie.
It's going to be tomorrow. It's definitely Chiefs hoodie day to me.
Tomorrow is the day that you should have red on.
Drew, are you going to wear red? That's the question, actually.
No, I'm going to be wearing my jersey.
Here's my issue.
Your jersey.
They're called Orange Friday. What do they call it?
My Bengals gear.
Here's the only issue I have with Red Friday. It's not about the tradition. It's that I feel like in most Chiefs fans' eyes, I can do no right. So if I don't own a lot of red Chiefs hoodies.
What do you mean?
If I wear a Chiefs hoodie tomorrow, that's gray. Yeah. I get yelled at.
No, you won't. Not if it says Chiefs on it.
But not from you, but from all.
If it says Chiefs, if it says Chiefs on it, which therefore most likely there's some red because of the logo.
I'm saying you're being reasonable, more reasonable than I've been accused on the text line, on the YouTube and Twitter chats of the same thing. Oh, you can't even wear red. I'm like, it says Chiefs on it.
Yeah, as long as if it's not red, it better say Chiefs pretty loudly.
If it's not Chiefs but it's red, is that okay? What are the rules?
That works too. Yeah.
If it were just if I was wearing a Quick Trip shirt,
there's
tomorrow,
the balance, Cody. There's the balance. If you're not gonna wear red, it better say Chiefs. If it's if it's red, it doesn't have to say Chiefs.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind the.
Now, if you're wearing a Nebraska hoodie tomorrow, that does not count as Chiefs Red Friday.
No. Ooh, interesting.
No,
that's why I said Quick Trip shirt. So non-neutral,
Quick Trip shirt, you're good. Yeah.
Okay. I don't
Drew wearing a disgustingly bright orange construction cone jersey out of Cincinnati does not count. No.
I should wear just the hoodie tomorrow. That is the construction color orange. Just because you
high vis orange hoodies.
Oh yeah, blinding as I walk in.
It really is blinding.
Do they have, what do they call it in Cincinnati? I'm assuming every fan base does essentially the same thing. The same version.
I'm sure they've got something.
I don't know if they do like a red, but they obviously have some tradition. I don't know if they all do something on Fridays.
Growing up in Indianapolis, they have a massive Colts blue thing on Fridays.
Right?
Yes.
A Colt? I thought you said a massive Colt.
Oh no!
Everyone gets one ride on the horse.
COLTS.
Did you participate in that, or did you just wear your Bengals gear then?
I would think you'd be all in on Red Friday. Text line's right for you, Mr. Tradition College stuff. You should love the traditions on a Friday.
I have nothing against this. I think this is awesome, but I don't root for the team that plays in the city that's participating in it. So I wouldn't wear Colts things, even though the blue thing.
But you could just wear red. You know,
that is true. I'm wearing red today.
Okay, all right.
Theoretically,
and it is the day before, so it's a Red Thursday.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's not
Tomorrow's
because
Red Friday.
Unless you, because you're not claiming it. I think.
But you're allowed to say Red Wednesday if the game's on a Thursday. Why can't it just be Red Thursday then?
What do you mean?
No,
because it's not on a Friday.
You're saying
neither's the one that's on a Wednesday.
Hang on.
No, but it's the day before a game that's not on a Friday, so therefore that day becomes the red day.
I'm just.
But also, this is the thing, Cody.
But I make a point, don't I?
If it's on,
it's illogical. If it's
Cody,
not on a Friday,
if it's on the day
rule.
that they play, though, then I think tomorrow is the truest Red Friday of the year because they play on Friday.
What is this from the text? Someone says, "Wait, so you guys have a text line, but the morning show got theirs taken away?"
We passed the security protocol.
Yeah, they didn't.
This is an above board show.
Yeah,
we
follow the rules now on the show. You know,
Odyssey Corporate said, "Hey, in order to get access to text line, you have to go through training. Can't be firing off Scott Parks like text over to people. It's all his fault anyway.
I'm going to save that.
So can't be fired off whatever we want on the text line.
They did not complete their training yet.
We, as an above board show,
believe it or not,
there's
training for the text line. But how to interact with some of the great texts we get on a daily basis. Some of them are better than others. Basically, it's what Drew can respond back to some of you that are very rude to him on the text line. What is Drew allowed to say back to you?
I need to start being like Jerry Jones and talking about all you yahoos or whatever the word he used. I think that's what he said. Yahoos.
Oh, goodness.
Text line's got a real varied opinion on my stance.
It's all over the place.
I think everybody does because of what we just talked about. Because you have an opinion, but Gold's got another one. And then the rest of the Kansas City area has another opinion on Red Friday.
So at this point, after 2 years of discussing it, I do understand the days in which Alex, and I think the Chiefs have agreed to Red Friday. I disagree with the sentiment that is.
Okay.
I disagree with the sentiment that is there's a Red Wednesday. I just think Red Friday should be the Thursday game if they play on Thursday, or Red Wednesday if they play on Wednesday. I don't know why we move it up a day for every day but Friday.
So you're saying it should be if
they play a weekday day game, that should be the day.
So on Thursday Night Football, they should be Red Thursday?
Yeah, I think I'd be fine. That's all. I'm not saying I don't understand. I'm just saying that's how
I'm curious, Cody. How often do you wear Chiefs gear on Sunday? If they play on Sundays, are you?
I don't know, 25% of the time.
No, 100%.
30%.
Unless I'm at the game covering it, I'm not wearing.
Of course,
I'm in the press box.
So really, you're more like 50%.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I don't know, 30%. I just put on clothes. It just depends. If I'm gonna be with a group of people in which we're watching the game together, I will wear it.
More likely to. I got you.
If I am gonna just be watching it at home, I just get dressed.
All right, up next, we're going to hear Travis Kelce impersonating Patrick Mahomes live in Brazil, or at least earlier today it was live. It's now a couple hours later. We'll get to that, plus a little All 32 on Cody and Gold.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Doug. Limu and I always tell you to customize your car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. But now, we want you to feel it. Cue the emu music, Limu.
Save yourself money today. Increase your wealth. Customize and save, we say.
That may have been too much feeling.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
You could be sitting on your dream deck watching the Chiefs on a Red Friday, you know, the way this works. Just let All Weather Decks build your dream deck. 913-206-1974 or online at allweatherdecks.net. Look, they serve the entire Kansas City area. They got pictures of their work over on their website at allweatherdecks.net. They're a 24-time winner of Angie's List Super Service Award and Kansas City's most respected deck builder. Work with a locally owned and operated company to build your dream space. We're talking about hoodie weather tomorrow, right? They can do fire pits. They can build that space around your outdoor. Wood deck, composite deck, fire pit, stone masonry, the screened-in porch, which I love, obviously, for summer and so I can avoid the bug bites outside of there. Whatever the project you've been conjuring up, or if you need ideas, you can get them on their website as well. Check out the awards, the reviews of their work. Don't just take it from me. See for yourself over at All Weather Decks, the kind of dream backyard retreat they could build for you. That's 913-206-1974 or online at allweatherdecks.net.
Hey, it's Gold, and I'm letting you know that FanDuel is coming to Missouri. That's right, FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming to Missouri. The long wait will soon be over. We've been talking about sports betting in Missouri for years, truly years, but it's finally coming on December 1st. You'll be able to bet on all your favorite teams and all your favorite sports. With FanDuel, there's a ton of ways for you to get in on the action. You can bet on everything from the money line to those over-unders to which team is going to win it all. You can build parlays, bet on player props, ride the live lines, whatever your style is, FanDuel has you covered. Plus, with live betting, you can even pick which player will score the next touchdown and the one after that. Mark your calendars. FanDuel is coming to Missouri on December 1st. See for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel, play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook is an official partner of 96.5 The Fan. Must be 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Tomorrow only, get your official Chiefs flag at your nearest Community America Credit Union branch. And while you're there, enter to win tickets to the Chiefs season opener at Arrowhead. Flag sales benefit Ronald McDonald House Charities of Kansas City. Tomorrow only, get yours before they're gone.
Your home is more than just another listing. It's your life's work. Dawn and the Sharp Homes team treat every property as their own, employing innovative marketing strategies and providing personal attention that transforms for sale signs into sold celebrations. The Sharp Homes team can also give you options. Do you want to skip the showings and open houses and go straight to sold? Then contact the only agent I would trust to sell my home. Dawn Sharp and the Sharp Homes team, brokered by Epic Realty. Google Sharp Homes team. That's Sharp Homes team today.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-814-1500. That's 800-814-1500. 800-814-1500.
It's time. Time for the pro to get everything for the entire job, all from one partner. To get access to over 3 million products, including many products you won't find in our stores. It's time to get delivery on your schedule or next day on over 50,000 products. And time to get dedicated support on the job site or in our stores. From ordering to planning, we've got you. One partner, any job, all in. Ask about all we can now do at the Pro Desk. The Home Depot Pro, it's about time.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text BEACH to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful Fed incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text BEACH to 42424. That's BEACH to 42424.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue.
What's up, KC? It's Chris Jones. Tune in on game days to hear the play-by-play with Mitch, Danan, and Klang on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
1 o'clock on a Thursday. NFL kickoff later on tonight. Cowboys, Eagles. I'll have some final thoughts on that game before we get out of here. Just going to be good to have some football back on. Obviously, we'll be keeping an eye on the Royals who play tonight.
Football, yeah.
But yeah, games that count. Cowboys, Eagles, big divisional game. I know everybody's down on the Cowboys, but still, big divisional game out of the gate. The first two nights of the NFL season are both divisional games. I know a lot of these Thursday night games have not been divisional. The Chiefs, obviously, a couple years ago played the Lions on a Thursday night opener after the Super Bowl. Last year, they played the Ravens. So, and then it's not usual that we see these divisional, and it happens to be that tonight and tomorrow are both divisional showdowns.
Yeah, and I think that that's interesting, obviously, for the early part, although interesting that the Chiefs have to play a divisional game on a neutral site always scares me at least a little bit, but I'll still entertain it on that end. Plus, I think the Cowboys will probably keep it a little bit closer, but I am curious to see what the Micah Parson-less Cowboys look like. And you and I were both, pre-injury, thought Dak got a little more hate than he deserved. CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens is a pretty good
I think Dak's going to sling it.
I still don't know about their running game.
No, Jaden Blue.
I don't love their running game at all.
Javonte Williams is the lead back. Yeah. Miles Sanders is in the picture, but he's hurt, I think. Javonte Williams is the guy, and he's coming off an injury. So, yeah, the running game's a question. Brian Schottenheimer wants to run the football, too. So how does it look? But I told you, I think they'll be competitive enough to cover the 8.5 points. We'll get to all 32 in the NFL in about 10 minutes or so, but let's go back down to Brazil. Mahomes and Kelsey were both speaking to the media. Remember, this is an international media group, so keep in mind when you hear some of the questions like, hey, why? We know the answer to some of it is that, but also we're playing this because Mahomes and Kelsey were very loose and joking around, impersonating each other. Anyway, here's some of what Mahomes and Kelsey said earlier today in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Getting off the plane yesterday was amazing. You know, the fans were out. They were loud. We landed late. And so it's really cool to see that the Kansas City Chiefs are known here in Brazil, and they're known well, and that we have a ton of fans here. So we're super excited to play in front of them tomorrow. Yeah.
Patrick, for you first, you guys have played in a lot of different situations and a lot of different, stages. How do you mentally prepare, even though the schedule is literally disrupted?
I think Coach Reed and all the coaches do a great job of kind of planning that stuff out. And so we got the game plan in before we headed this way, and now we're just kind of fine-tuning things. And so we've had a plan for this all summer long, and now we're just ready to play football again.
And Travis, what was last night like at the airport?
Oh, man, it was crazy. It was a lot of fun seeing all the fans there. And
he had that one coming for telling everybody I didn't know where Brazil was on the map. It's an exciting time. You get to hang out around the guys and the team, and this is something that we'll all remember. So you're just kind of in the moment and excited to play some football tomorrow, but just enjoying the process of experiencing new things with the guys.
Hey everyone, Danan from NFL Game Pass here on DAZN. So Chiefs' last game, it wasn't that good because it was Super Bowl. How do you guys working on your mind and the team's mental health to overcome this challenge?
Well, I think one thing that we have in our back pocket is Coach Reed. We got somebody that's been there, done that. He's been in a lot of international games, and he's been doing this football thing for a long time. So he understands how to lead us, how to set a schedule, how to make it easy for us to just focus on the game and things like that. And he challenges us in ways that he really gets the best out of us. And I think that's the biggest thing is that this is a challenge coming down here to Brazil, a 12-hour flight, playing 2 days after that. It's a unique and a different experience, but at the same time, it's something that's going to make us, feel that much more proud about what we're doing over here if we can come out with a win.
For each of you guys, right here in front, Travis, you guys are not strangers to attention, but I wonder what it's like in this kind of moment, and what you think it says about what it means you're playing here.
I think it's fun. Obviously we want to take American football worldwide, and you can see the fan base in Brazil, and so we're getting to bring the game that we love to them. And so I'm super excited to get out there and play in front of the fans. They look pumped. It's going to be a great environment. And that's what we want to do when we play this profession, is play in front of fans that want to see football, and that's what we're getting the opportunity to do. Here on this side.
Just for you, Trav, this kind of attention directly, what is that like?
Nothing about attention.
It's exciting, man. It's exciting, like Pat said. We're trying to take this game worldwide, and we're so fortunate that Brazil's had the interest of, wanting to see more of the NFL. And how proud is it to be one of those teams that are picked to showcase that? And been watching soccer games all week. Been watching, last year's game that the Eagles won, and it's just exciting times to be down here and play in front of the Brazilian crowd.
Here on this side.
Here. Go ahead. Patrick, Travis, welcome to Brazil. The last season, you had a struggle in the offensive line, especially in the edges. Now you got Josh Simmons, and how do you feel playing with him? Are you more secure playing with him?
I'm super excited for these guys to have the opportunity to go out there and accept the challenge. Josh has had a great camp, and he's had a great offseason. He had a great college career, and now he gets the next challenge of playing in the NFL, and I think he's ready for it. And so I think throughout the whole offensive line, they've taken it personal and want to showcase who they truly are. We got a lot of great players up there, and I think they're ready for the challenge.
Here, Patrick, on your left. Virgilio from Olympic Channel. You are in the top of the sport for a while, and you mentioned before that you want to have the opportunity to play in the Olympic Games. You have been in the top of the sport. What's the importance and your thoughts to be an Olympian and the importance of the Olympic Games for your career?
I don't know, because the football, American football hasn't been in the Olympics, but I know it will be really cool to be able to showcase American football worldwide in the Olympics and doing flag football. And so we'll have a lot of guys that will be competing for those spots. But I think it's an honor at any point to be named an Olympian. And so hopefully I'm still young enough. I'll be a little older then, but hopefully I'm still young enough to move around and play some football.
You will be, don't worry.
I'll have to be the water boy or something. I'm going to get a gold medal, though.
It'll be nice. I think you can handle that.
Trainer Trav, nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, for sure. Guys, welcome to Brazil. So, Patrick, we have a pretty strong fan base for football here, but there are many people that are going to watch the sport for the first time. They don't really know much. And the quarterback's probably the one position they know or understand a little bit about it. So what can you tell us? What can you tell to those people that don't know the sport about your specific position? And I know you have a personal relationship to soccer. So for us, it's like the franchise player, the guy that wears the 10 jersey, so how can we relate those things?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, it is in soccer or football, it's the number 10 position, the one that distributes the ball, the one that can score when he's called upon, but has to have control of the entire game. Offense, controlling we call it the line of scrimmage, where the ball started at, and then being able to put us into the best position to go out there and succeed. And so obviously there's rules as far as how many points are scored and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's just who can get in the end zone the most is who's going to win the football game. Go ahead. You're up.
Yep. Hi, guys.
I see you.
Hi, guys, over here. Welcome to Brazil, Murilo Alves, Estadão.
Thank you.
We saw the film last night, your arrival in Brazil, all these crowds. We know as well that Taylor Swift is a huge thing in Brazil, and that's why you guys get a growth in popularity. What are your thoughts about it? What are your thoughts on this popularity? And did you know beforehand, before coming to Brazil, that you guys are so popular here?
I think that was one of the keys of getting us down here was that we had a good following down here in Brazil, and obviously the league wide is expanding all over the world, and it's just so fun to see everybody get excited about this game that we've loved since we were kids, man, and be able to go out of here, showcase it in a good way, and show everybody just how much we really love this game.
Travis, talking about fan base, you're probably the most famous football player here in Brazil right now. How do you feel about this specific fan base?
I mean, I love it when the lights are bright, and I've heard nothing but great things about the Brazilian fan base and how they love sports, and I've been able to kind of follow along in the football world or the soccer world and see how exciting they get. So I'm pumped about tomorrow, and I'll be sure to make sure I say hello to everybody in the crowd, knowing that they took the time to come out and see some American sports.
Patrick, over here. Welcome to Brazil. For the first time since you won your first Super Bowl, we start seeing some specialists having Josh, Joe, Lamar as the QB1. How does that make you feel?
I think it's cool to see the game evolve. You know, there's been a lot of great players for a long time, but being able to play the quarterback position and being able to move and be mobile and make these throws, guys came before me and did that, and I'm trying to just keep pushing the game forward. And you see it now, the quarterback position, it's the top of the top. Every single team has their franchise guy, and it's been fun to watch the game grow, and it's been more challenging of going out against these guys every single week.
We're going to do two more starting here. Go ahead.
Travis, Paulo Antunes, ESPN Brazil. I'm just wondering, man, the last couple years, how your life has changed after you started dating Taylor Swift and you got the podcast and you got all these things happening off the field. Can you kind of, Chris Jones knows about this, right? Can you kind of describe how your life has changed here? And is there a difficulty to focus on everything on the field? Is that a challenge for you?
Well, engaged.
There we go. Exactly. I got one more ring from it. I would say two if we're counting the first Super Bowl. I would say I've ever since I've been dating Taylor, life has been fun. You know, it's been exciting.
All right, that was Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes speaking in Brazil.
It's been fun and exciting.
I think it's because it jumped to an ad after that.
You're good. You're good. We got enough of it. We got the gist of it. That's fine. Obviously, they were pretty loose, joking around a little bit. Travis impersonating Patrick Mahomes was pretty good. I love by the one of the reporters. That's great. I love how they call. So like we played the audio of Dan Orlovsky being an idiot on ESPN, an analyst. There he's a lot of specialists out there. I love that, by the way. Let's start calling them specialists.
I thought at first they were just excited to watch James Winchester.
What's that?
I said I thought at first maybe he was just really excited to see James Winchester.
No, he's
action.
talking about the specialists have the QB rankings as in analysts. I love that.
You like that title better?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, while we were in there, just a little NFL news. The Raiders and wide receiver Amari Cooper are parting ways in an interesting fashion. Amari Cooper has told the team he's decided to retire instead of play this year, leaving them only 4 active wide receivers on the roster.
He really doesn't like Geno Smith.
I got to say, though, you can like Geno Smith and Pete Carroll all you want. Their 4 active wide receivers are Jacoby Myers, Dante Thornton, Trey Tucker, and Jack Beck.
Yeah. Bowers, though, is essentially a wide receiver for them. But I hear you. Yeah, it's not an impression. Like
Bowers might get 78,000 targets.
He's still requesting a trade.
Who's that? Yeah, Myers. They told him they're not trading him. They said we're not trading you. And Myers said he's ready to play the opener, even though he had the trade request. The Raiders I think are like a 7-win football team. If everything went right, they're an 8 or 9.
Is that the weapons for a 7-win football team?
It
might be
with
worse.
Ginty and Bowers, and Geno at least has raised the floor compared to where they were at.
They better run.
But yeah, he's going to have to be the real deal for that to happen. But yeah, I thought the. I'm laughing at the text line. Yeah, Amari Cooper definitely wasn't excited about his role in Vegas. Although I believe he was a free agent all offseason and just signed like a week or so ago. So he got in there. Maybe he just didn't have it anymore.
Yeah, he might have gotten out on a practice field and said, nope, can't be. And look, for a player like that,
is he still?
He has 64 career touchdowns and 10,000 career receiving yards.
I mean, what is he, like 31 or 30? I don't even know if he's just beyond, how far beyond 30 he is. It feels like it's early.
It does, but like with players like that, Drew, I think sometimes...
He's not a running back, obviously.
I think sometimes when you get to this point in your career, when you were as good of a wide receiver as Amari Cooper was in his NFL career, you don't want to just go out there and be some 300-yard guy. Like
totally.
That's like, I bet that's a really tough pill to swallow.
He's 31 years old.
He has the 57th most receiving yards in NFL history. So, I mean, there are only 56 guys who have more total receiving yards than him in NFL history. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he's had a hell of a career. He's not a Hall of Famer, but he's had a hell of a career.
Yeah, 10 seasons, but,
Who was he drafted by originally? For some reason, I can't.
Amari?
Yeah.
Cowboys.
Cowboys.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
He was a
Yeah,
Cowboy.
first-round pick.
That's where his best years were.
Fresh out of Alabama.
Poor guy probably wanted to retire the second he ended up
Dallas,
in Cleveland with Deshaun Watson.
Dallas, Raiders.
Oh no, he
Cleveland,
wasn't.
Buffalo.
He was Oakland first. He was Dallas after.
Oh,
He was drafted by the Raiders, then he went to
Raiders.
Dallas. Dallas is what I think about his career, but
Gotcha.
but
You're
the
right.
Raiders.
You're
is
right.
where
You're
he
right.
was.
2015, he
The
was
more I
drafted by
think
the
about
Raiders.
yeah.
2015 Raiders. When they were in Oakland, then he got traded to the Cowboys. Right.
Then he
what
went to
helped with it.
Cleveland as a
That's
free
right.
agent or whatever it was after.
That's right. You're
He had
correct.
a couple of 1,000-yard seasons in Cleveland. All things considered. I mean, he had a very, very, very. A lot of people would love that kind of career in the NFL. He's probably just over it, man. He got on the practice field with
Sometimes your
Gino
body
Pete
shuts
Carroll.
down earlier than others, for sure. Yeah.
Probably just realized he didn't have it.
I mean, it's only 4 days.
It
It's not like he
happens.
made a quick decision. Now, I will say, freezing cold takes immediately went to his introductory press conference where he said,
"Oh, what did he say?
Oh, don't you worry, I still got some juice
Oh,
left."
no.
And you're like, that's unfortunate.
Oh, wait, he said that a couple of days ago?
Yeah, 4 days ago when he signed.
Oh.
Well, when he signed, he probably
Someone
felt that
said, didn't
way.
the Bills give up a second-round pick last year for Amari Cooper?
No, did they?
That was in the last year or two, wasn't it?
He did go to the Bills. Oh yeah, because Chiefs fans really
I
wanted
don't know
Amari
what pick it
Cooper.
was.
It wasn't a second-round pick, was it? Oof,
Shocking management.
It was a
if it was.
sixth-round pick.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I was like,
the deal
Starting with an S,
said
but it
Cooper.
wasn't
Oh, hold on, no. Cooper in a sixth for the Bills in exchange for a third and a seventh, so a third-round pick.
Still.
we gave Brett Veach a hard time. I will say, GM over there in Buffalo, not doing a great job finding weapons on the drafting department. Like, Stephon Diggs was their better one. He was pretty much already there and in place by the time you were talking about it. And
They
since
didn't
then,
want to pay him, right? Is that the reason he left, or he just want to go because of the
I
whole
think that
Josh
they-
Allen
they were
thing?
all just kinda done
wasn't-
with it.
It wasn't meshing, yeah.
that felt like one of we think you're old and you can't play anymore. Go play in Houston. It's fine. We're gonna shift it up and we're gonna take Gabe Davis early and Keon Coleman early and we're getting young and good and Dalton Kincaid and really have
They
any
had
of those
Davis and
guys.
Diggs at the same time?
Yeah, but I'm saying, I think they started to make
They
their
wanted to go with
transition
him,
to
yeah, yeah.
youth.
I got
And
you.
then it turned out Gabe Davis wasn't that good, although he's back at Buffalo now. Keon Coleman in his first year didn't live up to the hype. And so far, Dalton Kincaid's been a disappointment based on where they've selected him as well. All I'm saying is a recent track record on that's been not so good. That was part of the reason they had to trade for a guy like Amari Cooper in the middle of the season. Only
They were
got
just
300
begging for
yards.
somebody,
out of
yeah.
him. Yeah. That was a big one. Chiefs fans were mad because I remember it now that we're talking about it. Gold, as you remember, the Chiefs desperately needed wide receiver help that year as well because it was Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney on the way to a Super Bowl win. So I guess they didn't need Amari Cooper, but it certainly felt that way at the time. So Amari Cooper retiring rather than play for the Raiders.
Interesting.
I guess in the Guillotine League when we had to draft 70,000 people, I took Jack Beck. Flyer time.
Yeah, I like the Dante
It's not
Thornton
gonna
kid
mean
or
anything,
whatever.
Joe.
I think it's like Dante Thornton or whatever, the wide receiver room for the Raiders. All right, let's get to all 32. Tonight, Cowboys-Eagles. I told you I'm going to avoid the first 2-hour pregame of celebrating their Super Bowl.
Okay.
But Nick Sirianni playing dumb yesterday.
It's so phony. So phony.
Nick Sirianni said, I didn't know we're even doing the banner thing tomorrow night. Stop. Every American professional franchise that wins their championship, their first game at home, the next year, they raise a banner. This has been going on in sports since the beginning of time. You can claim and talk about being locked in without lying to everybody, without being a phony. We get it. You've moved on from last year. Your team's focused on 2025, not 2024, 2025. I understand what you're trying to say, but you don't have to play dumb and act like, I didn't even know there was a celebration happening tomorrow night.
Just give the static answer.
Stop.
Really happy our fans will get to see the banner unveiled. And I know it's more for fans than it is for active players at the time. But just give the standard line, not pretend like there is no banner.
We know our fans are gonna enjoy it, but we're focused on 25. Instead of this, I didn't even know there was a celebration happening. We're so locked in.
He's such a phony. Such a phony when it comes to stuff like that. It's all performative. That's what the problem is. My all 32, I got to say, I'm a little bit surprised. Based on all the stuff surrounding the draft chatter of Travis Hunter for the Jacksonville Jaguars, it sure sounded like every draft expert and everybody talking about him made it sound like Travis Hunter was going to be a full-time corner who got to dabble on the offensive end of football, you know? Get in there a little bit, Gold. Even you mentioned it, right? Let's find some packages for the guy. And all reporting leading into this is it's going backwards. Travis Hunter is going to be a full-time wide receiver who dabbles on the defensive end. My only question about this is, it feels like it's a lot harder to dabble on the defensive end than it is this way. This feels more like the setup for you're a guy who pitches and hit, and we're only going to let you hit. And for the times you're going to play defensive back, it's going to be extremely limited. It feels like they're just washing him off a corner.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing about this is Bink and I think, have been on the same wavelength of this all the way going back to when he was in college. So that he's a better wide receiver than he is a DB.
That's how the draft people were talking about.
I don't understand why, because to me, he's Quandre Diggs. Like, he might get you 5 picks in a season, but he also might get burnt that many times over the course of a year as well by whoever. It doesn't matter who it is. It felt like he was always better at wide receiver, but you're right. Maybe they sprinkle him in on third downs where they utilize him as, or maybe... I don't know.
Let's see how the season goes too, because like
corner 3 in the nickel.
How effective is he? Either. I mean, specifically wide receiver. I mean, if he looks like he has a chance to be a 1,000-yard rookie guy, they're going to play him even less on the defensive side of the ball.
Yep.
It makes
Brian
him more
Thomas and
prolific on
Travis
offense,
Hunter.
too.
That's a fun offense.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe try to set up Trevor Lawrence. Screw it. The guy we took this early, let's get as much on offense as we can. Try to make Trevor Lawrence.
Maybe they want him to focus on receiver in his rookie year and then develop into more of a corner and then go from there. That's a lot on your plate. A rookie in the NFL did play corner and wide receiver.
People said he was running double time because he can't attend both meetings at the same time. He was making the position coaches catch up with him on the defensive stuff after.
That's tough.
Good.
What
do you got?
My 32, by the end of the year, and this coincides with my division pick, or my playoff picks, Bryce Young will be a top 15 quarterback by the end of the season.
Okay, so not too high. You're not saying he's going to be a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah, I think the
Carolina...
Carolina...
You think he'll be a league average quarterback?
I think the Carolina Panthers will make the playoffs, and he's going to be a reason because of it, and people are going to start to just... It's not like they need to move on from him and it's done. It's, hey, he is a viable starter in the National Football League, I think, by the end of it.
If they're going to make the playoffs, he has to be a top 15 quarterback, I think. There's no way
they coincide with each other.
that.
Like, he's going to become that where... I don't know who else you would consider around 14, 15-ish.
Thielen, though, you know? Like, for a young quarterback who finally got better and they leaned on Thielen a little bit, they better love Ted McMillan and some of these other guys.
I think they love Ted McMillan, and Xavier Legette is, they're hoping, can continue to... I don't know who else they have in that room.
I mean, Ted McMillan looks like that could be a pretty impressive combo between the two as time goes on. Legette better get better. Like, I know he was a fun story, but he needs to get better.
Last
no
year.
Adam Thielen anymore, right? He's in Minnesota now.
In Minnesota.
They brought back Hunter Renfrow. Okay. What's his name? The Jalen Coker kid is on the IL.
Jalen Coker,
IR.
he impressed, but he's hurt right now. And then Chuba Hubbard at running back.
Yeah, we'll see.
Jatavion Sanders.
I like
Bink's
what I
guy
saw.
at tight end.
I like what I saw from Bryce Young. Obviously, down the stretch, they won a lot of one-score games, and he came up with some big plays. Top 15, it's pushing it. Yeah, I mean. Can the Panthers become a 10-win team, which is what you need them to be to make the playoffs, though? If you don't, you know what I mean? And that I don't know if they're a 10-win team. That's all 32.
I think they win 9 games. I don't know if 10 wins gets in to the NFC. I think
you predict them in the playoffs, though, so you must think they're getting to 10 wins.
9 or 10.
No, I think they get to 9. I think they're in at 9.
You think 9 gets the wild card this year in the NFC? Okay.
NFC North is too tough.
And
I think the NFC North is going to beat each other up enough, and they're not going to be able to get in. The Vikings, that is. It's going to come down to the Vikings and Carolina and Seattle. Okay. And I think that Carolina can get in with 9. I mean, if they get to 10, obviously, great. But I think they're in.
Last year, the 7 seed had 11 wins.
That's not.
So
I'm not saying it's never happened that a 9 seed has gotten in. Of course it has. I'm just skeptical that 9 gets it done in the climate of the NFC this year with some of the talent. That's all.
I think part of it also is who didn't make the playoffs last year, who can, because we see it all the time. And Carolina, to me, is that team.
Hey, football is back. We know that. ESPN Bet Sportsbook inside Hollywood Casino at Kansas Speedway. Join them tomorrow as Kansas City takes on Los Angeles in Brazil, and register to win your share of $5,000 in pin bonus play during the game. Up next, we'll get to what's trending here, a little update on some news around the NFL and elsewhere. Plus, Danan Hughes was in Brazil, or is in Brazil. He joined us live earlier today. We'll play some of that back for you as well. His thoughts on what to expect in Brazil tomorrow night and what wide receiver steps up the most.
This is Wyatt Thompson, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays 10 to 2, right here on your home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Hi there, I'm Charlie.
And I'm Carter. Our dad is Rex with Rex Buys KC.
If you're thinking about selling a home in Kansas City and don't know where to start, our dad can help.
Sometimes life throws curveballs, like moving for a new job, dealing with a divorce, or inheriting a house you weren't expecting.
Dad doesn't just make offers, he talks with people to help them understand all of their options. No pressure, and it doesn't cost anything to talk with his team.
He's a local home buyer who really knows Kansas City. If selling to him is the right choice, he'll give you a fair cash offer, and you can close on your timeline even in as little as 7 days.
He buys homes in any condition. No need for repairs, no fees, no surprises.
Just an honest, easy process so you feel good about your decision.
Want to talk to him? Call 816-330-6000 or go to rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CODE to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CODE for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CODE for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Football's back, and Underdog is the best place to select entries and win money all season long, and you can play right now in the state of Missouri. And playing on Underdog is easy. Just choose whether your favorite player will go higher or lower on certain stats, like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your entries right, and you can win up to 1,000 times your cash, and you can play with as little as $1. I love combining entries from multiple sports into one selection to see what I can do. The Underdog app is awesome. Download the app today and sign up with promo code BOB to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5 with promo code BOB. Millions of fans have already won billions making plays on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog. Make plays, win money. Must be 18 and over and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
eBay has reinvented vehicle buying. From click to curb, everything's covered. Ever try to buy a car online and end up in a parking lot with a stranger and some blind trust? That era is over. Now with Secure Purchase, eBay isn't just where you find your car. It's where you buy it, start to finish. Title, financing, registration, delivery, it's all built in. This is the modern way to buy your next ride on eBay. eBay. Things people love. Secure Purchase is powered by Caramel Dealer Services, LLC, an eBay subsidiary.
Today, we're constantly taking photos and videos to remember our favorite moments. But what about those captured before the smartphone? What about the memories tucked away on aging VHS tapes, film reels, or in fading photos?
These cherished memories are fading away with time, vulnerable to threats like heat, moisture, and mold. But fear not, there's a solution to safeguard your legacy. Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Nick. Together we founded Legacy Box over a decade ago with one mission, to bring your memories into the 21st century.
It's time to bid farewell to old tapes you can't watch and faded photos. Legacy Box transforms them into digital treasures, ready to share with a click.
Just like magic, your shoebox of memories is now safely stored in the cloud or on a thumb drive.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box, so you can rest assured your priceless moments are in good hands.
Don't let your childhood fade away on old tapes. It's time to digitize those priceless moments.
Fast forward into the digital age. Visit legacybox.com/value and unlock 50% off your order. That's legacybox.com/value.
Free trial is 7 days. If customer does not cancel prior to the end of a trial period, fees will apply.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Open Phone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Open Phone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place, so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to Need to take calls on the go? OpenPhone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With OpenPhone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with OpenPhone. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/try. openphone.com/TRY.
This sports report is brought to you by Bet365.
This hour's sports report is brought to you by Bet365. Bet365 is officially live in the Sunflower State. Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus in partnership with Kansas Star Casino.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. What's trending?
Number one on the What's Trending, we got football tonight. Cowboys, Eagles in Philly, game 1 of the season. Of course, yes, they'll be raising a banner celebrating their Super Bowl win against the Chiefs last year as well. But Jalen Hurts and company trying to go back-to-back. The Cowboys, meanwhile, obviously just traded Micah Parsons. Everybody's very down on them. Eagles are 8.5-point favorites tonight. I told you I kind of like the Cowboys to cover, not to win, but to cover tonight.
How do you like the Sunday night football intro?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Love it?
Carrie Underwood, let's go.
If we eventually get we think we will, but if we eventually get the approval to bring back the Cody Gold garage sale, I'll tell you, an item came upstairs the other day.
Yeah.
Drew, I'm not kidding. An item came upstairs and said, hey, thought you guys might like this for the garage sale. I said, thanks. I opened it up. It's a poster, a like 10-year-old Sunday night football poster or whatever, with like Aaron Rodgers as a Packer and a million other weirdo things like that.
Peyton Manning on there as a
Peyton
Bronco?
Manning's on there.
Wow.
Signed.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Signed by Carrie Underwood.
Hey, how about that?
So, could be at least interesting in that end. Next up on What's Trending, Royals try to avoid the sweep tonight at home at Kauffman Stadium. Noah Cameron will be on the mound as Seth Lugo's pushed back until at least the weekend due to some back tightness, according to reports over there. Obviously, the Royals lost late last night 4-3. They need Noah Cameron to be on his stuff. He's coming off a back-to-back, I would call shaky starts. Not bad starts. So we'll see what the Royals can do tonight against the Angels.
Elsewhere, we mentioned some NFL news. Nick Bonito got a nice contract extension with the Denver Broncos today, worth up to $120 million. A key piece to that defensive front, one of the better pass rushers in football. Big reason why the Broncos were one of the best defenses and likely will be a top 5, top 3 defense in football again.
Lastly, on What's Trending, we just mentioned it, but as a reminder, if you did just tune in, Amari Cooper has informed the Las Vegas Raiders he will not play this season for them and instead will retire. He had signed just 4 days ago to try to improve their wide receiver depth. They won't, unfortunately, have him for the beginning of the season for them. They now only have 4 active wide receivers on the roster, 3 guys on the practice squad. For this short of a turnaround, I'm guessing one of the practice squads have got to do it. The 4 guys are not some name of who's who. Jacoby Myers, who'd requested a trade, Jack Beck, Thornton, and I'm missing one more. But yeah, only 4 active wide receivers on the Raiders roster right now.
Raiders 2.5-point underdogs Sunday against the Patriots. We during the break, Circa out in Vegas sent out their contest spreads. It's a little bit different than just what's on your book. These lock once they send them out, so they try to keep that in mind. But we have to submit all 5 of our picks by Saturday morning. We each get to put together 3 we like, and then they basically debate what we want. But this will be our group: me, you, Dusty, Bink, Rob, Speck.
Patriots minus 2.5 might be one of my picks.
I'll tell you, tomorrow we'll talk more about it probably, but Bears plus 1.5 Monday night is one I really like. I think the Steelers are going to win comfortably against the Jets, but it's 3 at Circa. I don't know if I like that as much as 2.5. Because a push, we only get a half point. That's the tricky thing. Anyway, that's what's trending here on Cody and Gold. Earlier today, Danan Hughes, former Chiefs wide receiver, of course, part of the Chiefs radio network. He joined us. He's in Brazil. Boots on the ground there. Good to have him join us. We started our conversation asking him just about the 12-plus hour travel and really what the last 18 hours or so have been like.
Well, you guys know me. I was asleep for most of it, so it was par for the course for me. Traveled to Germany a couple of years ago, the same as travel here to Sao Paulo. So I think I got in about 10 hours. I did not even realize that we were delayed leaving for about 2 hours because I fell asleep as soon as we got on the plane. So that's a surprise, that I was not even awake for the delay, which I wish I would have, because then I would have been able to sleep the entire flight as opposed to staying awake for the last couple of hours. So otherwise it was cool. We're here. The weather is beautiful, and we just got to get ready for these Chargers.
What are your concerns over the field, Danan? I know that always seems to be a talking point anytime we get these international games, and if they're going to continue them, I actually feel like it's one of those things they want to take care of so that it's not a conversation anymore.
Yeah, I think so. We actually had a conversation about it because we kind of compared it to the Arizona Cardinals and how much of a debacle that was and how it continues to be. And you would think that, especially with the NFL, the juggernaut that it is, that you would think that they would make sure that that was not an issue, that was not a talking point. But I guess there's only but so much that they can control. You just hope for the best. And what I used to be taught as a player was the other team's got to play in it too, no matter rain, sleet, snow, or soggy fields. So you just hope that it equals out, and you just ultimately hope that no one gets hurt. That's the thing. Guys are going to slip around. You're going to have to pay attention to the cleats that you have on. I remember Al Saunders, my coach, used to say, never take your putter to the driving range. And I wasn't an golfer back then, so I didn't know what that meant. But he ultimately was like, make sure you got the right equipment wherever you go. Make sure you got the right equipment. So Alan Wright and Chris Shropshire, those guys are the ultimate professionals. To me, the equipment staff, the best in the league. So I'm sure they'll have these guys ready. Actually, our guys are heading out there early this morning, have headed out there early this morning to get everything set up, the locker rooms, et cetera. So I'm sure they'll be testing the field, and hopefully that just doesn't become a factor.
We're talking to Danan Hughes here on 96.5 The Fan. What do you need to see, Danan, in this game to believe maybe the offense is back or headed in the right direction to being one of those top 5 top offenses in the league?
Chunk plays. I think if you look at last year and you compare them to previous years' Super Bowl runs and Super Bowl championship runs, there were chunk plays that we got on a consistent basis. When I say chunk plays, I'm talking about 20 yards plus plays, taking advantage of man-to-man coverage, protecting Patrick Mahomes, and more so even Patrick working on schedule. And what that means is when you work on schedule as a quarterback, that means as soon as I take the snap and shotgun, if I drop back 3 more steps, as soon as I plant my right foot, the ball is being released. If I drop back 6 more steps, like we saw in the Super Bowl against the San Francisco 49ers, 2-jet wasp, that the ball is being released. That's on schedule. The longer the quarterback holds on to the ball, the less on schedule he is. So to start this season, to go against a team, especially with the defense of the Chargers, I want to see how he works going on schedule, and then I want to see the guys make some chunk plays down the field. I think it's tough to win in the NFL if you have to always rely on 12 to 14 play drives. Yeah, they're great. You want to give your defense time to relax on the sideline and catch their breath, and you want to have those sprinkled in, but occasionally you'd like to see a 5-6 play drive with a big chunk play down the sideline, or a running play, which we were void of last year as far as big chunk plays in the running game. So that's the first thing that comes out to me. And then defensively, I want to see us impose our will on opposing teams. I want to see Justin Herbert uncomfortable in the pocket, and I want to see us be more physical, because as much as I hate it, the Chargers were one of the more physical defenses in football last year. They had a +12 giveaway takeaway ratio. Justin Herbert did not throw many interceptions, only threw 3. So to me, we got to impose our will defensively and get them a little uncomfortable.
Danan, when you look at those targets, right, we know no Rashee Rice for the first 6 games. He won't come back to that Raiders game in mid-October. Let's say Rice was going to get 8 to 10 targets per game. That might be on the light side for some games, but let's call it 8 to 10 targets. How do you think those are divvied up for these first 6 games? Because I don't think they're all just going to one guy. What order? Who gets the benefit? Who do you think they're going to tomorrow?
Yeah, I think what we'll see is kind of a a hodgepodge of guys that will be leaned on. We didn't see much of Noah Gray and obviously not much of Travis Kelce in the preseason. They will be staples in this offense because Patrick has the utmost confidence in those guys. But when you consider Rashee Rice going down, let's just go back to last year. When he went down, we started to throw the ball around, and we didn't necessarily have the big chunk plays except that of Xavier Worthy. But Patrick has that innate ability, and I played with a great quarterback in Joe Montana and Rich Gannon, and guys that knew I should say this, they had confidence in the guys they had confidence in. Well, what I've seen with Patrick Mahomes, with the assortment of receivers that he's worked with in his illustrious career, he's okay with trusting guys. When Nico Remigio's on the field, he feels confident with him. When Juju is on the field, there's obviously confidence there. Tyquan Thornton. There are different guys that have shown up and shown the ability to gain the trust of Patrick Mahomes. So to say it's going to be one guy, yeah, we can have the expectation that Xavier Worthy should hopefully have over 100 yards receiving without Rashee Rice on the field. But I think what's going to be more impressive about this run and this game particularly is how he spreads the ball around to other guys that we may not know will be a factor in this offense for the foreseeable future. I mean, we're just going to have to fill in or get in where you fill in, and this is one of those games without Rashee on the field. So it's going to be a hodgepodge of guys, and I just want to see Patrick be comfortable doing it.
What's your ceiling for Xavier Worthy? For a while, I was kind of hoping Rice and Worthy would turn into A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, with obviously Worthy being the Smith end of that equation. What is your ceiling for Xavier Worthy after we saw the last 5 to 7 weeks last year?
When you say ceiling, are you talking about yardage and numbers? I mean, he had 9 touchdowns from scrimmage last year. I think that should be doable again, especially the way they use him in the red zone with jet sweeps. If they can isolate him, I feel like Xavier Worthy is also a better, more productive receiver from the slot than he is just lining up on the outside. While Rashee Rice is probably the opposite. You can line him up outside the numbers, and he can be that conventional receiver to work isolated against a corner, while Xavier moving him in motion shifts, placing him in the slot where he's not going to be in bump and run and might not get jostled around too much could work for him. So, he had 9 touchdowns last year. Okay, let's say without Rashee Rice on the field for 6 weeks, at the end of the season, if he has 12, I think that's a good number for him in his sophomore season. And if we can get up to the 900 yards receiving, I think that would be very admirable. I think that could be a ceiling for him, especially if you consider that Travis will be healthy the entire season, Rashee will be healthy when he comes back. I think having that kind of production would really be a nice addition for the Chiefs this season.
We're talking to Danan Hughes here on Cody and Gold. Of course, Danan is in Brazil. He'll be on the broadcast with Mitch and Josh Klingler as well. They're beginning tomorrow night from Sao Paulo, and he's joining us thanks to Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue, and by Flight. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. What's the matchup maybe nobody's really talking about enough, or the matchup that you think will end up having a much bigger impact on this game Friday?
I don't know if anybody's not speaking about it, but I think you have to think about Khalil Mack against Josh Simmons and Jawan Taylor. I mean, I feel like that's probably one of the bigger matchups that you want to see, not so much because of Josh Simmons being a rookie, but you got that entire left side of the offensive line that are pretty inexperienced, and they're going against one of the more dominant pass rushers and defenses from last year, with Khalil Mack being a leader. So I feel like that's the one that's going to jump out. Every time the Chiefs break the huddle, get to the line of scrimmage, my eyes will go to where is number 52 on defense. Okay, which guy is he going against right now? And then watching those guys as soon as the ball is snapped. Now, I'll move my eyes towards where the play is going, but I think for the snap of the ball, it's going to go right to where is 52, and are we able to kind of stabilize his abilities on this particular play and the next play and the next play. Because unfortunately, and this is part of the reason why I would have never wanted to be a kicker or an offensive lineman, because kickers, you can miss one kick and they'll be calling for your job. Offensive tackle, you play 65 plays on average a game. If you give up 2 sacks, you had a terrible game, and everybody's calling for your job. While you might have nullified everybody that was a rushing force for 63 of those other plays. So I want to see if Josh Simmons, he's going to get beat. He's going to have his hands full. There's going to be a time or times where Khalil Mack and those guys, Perryman, Tui Peloto, they're going to win. What's the next play look like? What's the next play after that look like? Are we going to see something like we saw last year when we played Max Crosby and those outside linebackers for the Raiders that just had a field day in the backfield against Patrick Mahomes because they smelled blood in the water? I want to see how he bounces back from the inadversity that he's going to face when Khalil Mack wins one rep.
You've mentioned Travis Kelce multiple times as one of the matchups. How much are you buying into the best shape of your life version of Travis Kelce that seems to be the story of the offseason, at least for the football side for Travis? Obviously, I'd say the engagement is the other one, Danan.
I buy into it totally. I mean, just look at him. Look at what he looks like on the field, how he's moved on the field. I was up at training camp several times and watched him move and maneuver like he's always done, and there's not been any indication that he is not in full form, ready to go. Plus, with the incentive of the embarrassment in the Super Bowl, what he said about that, and not wanting to go out on that low note, like, to me, that's all you need when you're talking about 87, is that he's mentally engaged, and what you see physically is that he's ready to go. And outside of bad footing on a field that we're unsure of right now, I feel like he's going to explode in this game. He's always had good games against the Chargers. I know they have Derwin James Jr., who usually is a force against any other tight end in the league, but Travis has done a fine job, especially when he's lined up man-to-man against Derwin James Jr., and we'll see how that matchup goes. That'll be another big matchup that I'll be watching for.
So that was Danan Hughes a little bit earlier on today as he is in Brazil. He got some good sleep on the plane. Told us about this offense, and you were asking about Xavier Worthy a little bit and just the expectations. Like, hey, the guy had 9 touchdowns last year.
I mean, that's for 638 yards. Touchdowns were more his specialty than kind of like McCole. They know how to use guys like Xavier Worthy to get scores because they're fast on the edge. They can do the inside stuff. They can do the sweep stuff. They'll find a way to get you in the end zone, even if you're not a 1,000-yard guy. I do think, I still think the good ceiling comp for him is Devontae Smith. I still think it's a really nice comp. I've seen 950-yard, 9-touchdown seasons out of Smith. And if you told me that was his season this year, I'd be thrilled for Xavier Worthy. Certainly his pace was that of about a 1,000-yard wide receiver for the final 6 games, including the playoffs last year. So, like, he's paced at that rate for a third of a season in length of time. But also, like, the Super Bowls, like, how much of those yards do I give him? Right. Knowing that they were down 4 scores before they started heaving that thing down the field. So
yeah, NFL Network's showing highlights of that, or doing something to talk about Jalen Hurts right now about that very game. But
about the Super Bowl?
Well, yeah, it's going to be that way for the next couple hours. Everybody's going to be doing preview
then regular
stuff.
Season will start, and
what about
this
tonight,
will get washed away.
Tonight, though, I am excited to watch the game
win
tonight. I think Eagles win, but I really feel pretty decent about, like, if you're asking for the first bet of the year, Cowboys plus 8.5. Let's go. Stay within 8.5. It's the NFL. You know, the Cowboys, I understand Micah Parsons. Massive loss. But Dak Prescott with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, like, to me, they will be able to move the ball. The Eagles lost some pieces. I don't think
secondary is a question.
Yeah.
Defensive line's not quite as good.
You know, of course we can play the turnover game and all that. Of course, yeah, Dak Prescott cannot turn the ball over. But I think this will be a game that's closer than people think.
It would be pretty hilarious if Brian Schottenheimer with Micah Parsons traded.